What's going on, America? Welcome to Kevin's Corner, where I try to make some sense out of nonsense. Before we get into this video, I need y'all to do me a favor. Hit that like button, share my videos. Please make sure you subscribe. Make sure your notification buttons are turned on to all. Subscribe to my alternative channel, just in case YouTube give me the slip or something. You'll know how to find me. Don't forget to check me out with all the podcasts and follow me on Rumble in the Jungle. All the links are listed below. If you want to donate to my channel, feel free. Those links are below as well. Now, with no further ado,
welcome to my party. We're just getting started.
What's going on, America? This is Kev from Kevin's Corner, where I try to make sense out of nonsense. And I've been wanting to react to this Nick Fuentes video where he's talking about, I guess, black people fatigue. And he says some pretty hurtful things when it comes down to black folks. But the question is he right? See, I want to watch and react to this video really objectively. Because, see, I know there are going to be a lot of folks who might even watch me respond to this video and say, well, you know what? This guy's racist. He's biased. I don't care what he is. The question is the substance of what he's saying. Is he really telling the truth? Or is it not? Is it just filled with nothing but animus towards black people just because he hate them? Or is there some truth? And the reason that I want to react to this video is because sometimes you have to be able to step outside of yourself and look at yourself. Meaning this, when you're looking at yourself through your own eyes, you're biased. When you step outside and able to see yourself do something or say something and somebody really repeats it back to you to show you how crazy it looked or how crazy it sounded, that's when, if you're being honest, you're able to stop and say, yeah, that did look kind of bad. Perfect example of that is when I was in college and I had to hand in a notebook that kept notes about this. You know, I was in a little dance class, you know, I ain't take it seriously. We were supposed to keep a documentation of the daily notes and stuff like that. Well, I didn't do it. So the night before it was supposed to be due, I went ahead and did this whole semester of notes in purple ink and handed that gibberish in to the professor. And she gave me an F. And it got to the coach, and the coach brought me in. And the coach is like, look, man, what's up with this F you got? I said, what F? Your professor said you didn't hand in your notes of each day. And I'm like, man, she lying on me, man, this and that. Man, I'm telling you, I did it. I handed it in. And I went in to talk to her, and I came in with an attitude. Hey, how you gonna just, give me an F on this whole thing? And I can't even believe I handed it in. She said, don't come in here starting out with me, okay? You handed in some trash. I could tell that you submitted this to me after writing it all like last night. And I'm like, no, I ain't right now. I know I did, but I'm sitting there like, but I ain't write it all last night. She's like, yes, you look. First of all, it's all in purple ink. I'm like, maybe I just used the purple ink pen all semester. She's like, okay, even if you did, I'm gonna read you some of this stuff. All right. Today class was fun. I had fun in class today. Speaking of class, the class is about dancing, and I was dancing. I've been dancing a long time. And she's reading this back to me, and I'm listening to it, and I'm going, oh my God, did I sound like that? Did I really write that? If I'm her and I'm looking at this, I'm like, this little dude think he's pulling a fast one over on me, and he put this trash out here and want me to grade him seriously. After listening to it, I was like, oh, yeah, okay, well, tell you what, could you give me another chance? She humbled me. I had to say, give me another chance, because I could have fought it. I could have said, it's because she's racist, because you know what, you did. No, I had to say, it's because I was trying to be sorry. That's what I was trying to be. I was trying to go ahead and beat the system. Yeah. So don't be going out there blaming her. When she read that mess back to me, I said, ugh. So that's what I really want a lot of folks to try to do. If you're black and you're checking this video out and you're not a conservative, whether you're conservative or not, I'm looking at what this dude is talking about through the eyes of growing up in black culture, knowing how black culture acts, being subjected to it. I'm not somebody removed from it. I'm a person who can identify with this culture and some of these behaviors you're about to see. That is why I'm able to objectively listen to this and say, ew. So, with no further ado, let's get into it.
White people are every single bit justified in being racist. Every single bit justified, to the extent that that means going out of your way to avoid people when you see them. Every bit justified. And you want to know why? Because we see what happens. And nobody is under any obligation due to liberal ideology to put themselves in harm's way. If you're a white person and you're going to work or going to the ball game or going to the city at night, you don't want to enter into the terror dome where you're suddenly in a sudden death match. You're like in the gulag in Call of Duty fighting for your life all of a sudden because you got on the wrong train car. Because a car full of people pulled up on you by the bus stop. You turn and you walk the other way. You avoid their neighborhoods. You avoid going out on Memorial Day or Labor Day weekend at night in certain places. When you see them, you start walking in the other direction. And we are every bit justified because we see what's going on and we don't want to die. It's that simple. That's pattern recognition. That's not racism.
Now, so far, if you're just popping into this channel and you're listening to this guy, you're like, who's this white supremacist? Just because you're black, it's hard to hear a white person talk about black folks in this way. So your first reaction is to say, well, let me defend black people. But the question is it worth defending? Can you defend what this man is really saying that white people have every reason to be justified about? And I'll ask you this in this way. As a black person, once you have a higher degree of social skills and awareness, black folks also know that there are certain situations, certain neighborhoods, certain behaviors that come out of black folks that act a fool that you avoid. There are certain things that you say, as a black person, because I know black folks, I'm not going to put myself in that situation. And we're going to see some of those situations as we continue to react to what he's talking about. So, when it comes down to this, the question becomes, is it about racism or is it what he's talking about, pattern recognition? Now, I can objectively say, as a black person, I also have pattern recognition. There are certain things that I say, those black folks over there aren't acting dignified. They're not acting with good social skills. I'm not going to subject myself to that. Now, am I racist? Am I racist for doing that? Nope, not at all. So I get it, especially in this hypersensitive culture that we're living in right now, where they're talking about racism and all this stuff constantly. The question is, should white people be so liberal, so open-minded, and not want to ever feel like, look, I don't want to judge these people and prejudgment stuff, where they put themselves in dangerous situations? So I get what he's saying. I get what he's saying. But there's evidence to support what he's saying. See, I'm not going to sit here and listen to this white man talk about black people like that without some evidence. So let's get into it.
That's pattern recognition. That's one. And two, I really hope, because I'm rooting for black people, like I'm rooting for humanity. I'm rooting for everybody to be safe and to be healthy and to be happy. I really hope that somewhere out there, although I'm not optimistic, people are starting to develop some sense of self-awareness. Where's the shame? Aren't you people ashamed? When I see these clips of the graduation ceremonies where they're twerking on stage and dancing, when I see these videos of the cheerleaders on the basketball court brawling it out, when I see the Carmelo Anthony, and not only that, but then they raise $500,000 for him and then they get a public defender. When I see that video of a security guard rifling through the pockets of an unconscious white guy that got his ass kicked, and the list goes on and on and on. You have to ask the people that are normally so proud and with the chip on their shoulder, aren't you ashamed?
Now, that's a legitimate question, because honestly, after I watched the way those young people were acting on that stage right there, the question becomes, what other culture do you see behaving like this? That's my question. I mean, see, if you're a person that's looking at that going, they kicking it, they wilding out, girl, you know what I'm saying? They turning up. You're part of the problem. You're part of the problem. See, we have to, as black folks, have a higher standard when it comes down to our behavior. And certain behavior, also sets the tone for how people view you and what they interpret your behavior as. And when I look at that, I go, oh God, that's embarrassing. See, if this message was coming from anybody but this white guy right here, if we were all sitting around, the table and we all black and we like, look at these folks acting ghetto. Yeah, we'll receive it. But it really hurts when it comes out of a white person's mouth. A white person that's honest enough to say, this is shameful. And, y'all talk about black folks, you're always talking about racism, you're always talking about how, y'all are in situations and y'all are perceived a certain way. But a lot of that has to come down to how you behave. You get what you put out. And when I look at the behavior of a lot of black folks, it's embarrassing. I look at this and I don't go, well, that's just us being us. I look at that like that's just us embarrassing us. And it really hurts to have to hear it come from this white guy right here. Just keeping it honest and real. See, I know folks, he's white, he can't tell black, he don't know nothing about black folks. Oh, wait, he don't need to know nothing about black folks, okay? And what people know about black folks, a lot of it is because of what black folks do. And the fact that a lot of other black folks who don't behave like that, don't hold them accountable and don't say, look, man, y'all are bad examples for black folks. So let's continue because, see, once again, I need to see some evidence. Let's continue.
Are you not ashamed when you see these things? Are there any people that see this and have the slightest lick of self-awareness, of common sense, of decency to say, are you not ashamed to see these scenes play out over and over again?
When too much work bogs you down, Asana helps you handle it. AI makes it easy to hand off routine tasks and stay focused on important work. That's how work gets handled. Visit us at asana.com.
Where's the accountability?
So we're going to go ahead and I want to do a little experiment, okay? All right. If you're watching my channel, you're probably conservative, but if you happen to be somebody who said, well, I want to go ahead and check out what this dude, is talking about. Yeah, you might be upset just listening to what he's saying right now, but I'm going to show you some evidence, some videos, and I want you to take your emotions, your feelings out of it. If you black, if you upset about what he's saying, take your feelings out of it and watch this right here. And you ask yourself, what other culture do I see out here doing things like this? What is it about the black community that a lot of black folks are behaving like this and think this is okay? So let's check it out. How about this right here? Look at that. Yep. What do you think those white people are thinking? Right there. You see that? She thinks that's funny. I mean, almost butt naked, horrible body, but goes in there and she's twerking right there in front of those folks and those kids. Now, you want those white folks to say, that's just a one-off and stuff like that. You don't want them to be impacted by that. If I was there with kids as a black person and she did that, I'd be going to look at this chick. Would you get your nasty tail out of here? See, this is the stuff that a lot of black folks do. And then other black folks get mad when they hear people talk about black culture like this guy's talking about. But here's more evidence. You tell me, after watching this, like I had to sit back and listen to that professor read out loud my writing, my response, I want you to watch this, and then you be honest enough to tell me, well, so what? You know what? Black people are allowed to act like this. This shouldn't determine how folks judge us.
Come check this.
This is probably in Times Square, New York.
Come check this.
Right out in the street. Look at that.
Just scaring people, doing wheelies.
Oh my God! Let's go! He won't go! Oh!
Running folks over.
Just hitting pedestrians.
Oh my God! Let's go! Yeah! Let's go! Boy, wildin'. Boy, he's wildin' right now. Oh my God! Oh my God!
These guys are crazy.
Oh my God!
Now, we're just getting started. I mean, as you watch that, the whole objective of what they're doing is to intimidate, scare folks, put themselves in dangerous scenarios like that. And I'm thinking, Okay, what happens when you mess around and hurt somebody? What happens when you cause an accident? What happens when you get yourself killed? And once again, show me the video footage of another group of people from another race or culture behaving like this. They celebrate that crap. Oh my God, this is the stuff that they're doing. If they were out just popping woolies on their own, fine. But the whole element behind what they're doing is let me intimidate, scare folks, cause dangerous situations. Yeah, and that's what they do. That's what they're doing. But wait, let's finish hearing what he got to say, because hey, maybe that's just a couple video clips. We don't want to go ahead and respond just because of those clips. Let's see. Here we go.
And this is where that word fatigue comes in. We're just tired of seeing it. You see these clips and you know every race of person, maybe except for most white, Chinese, Indian, Hispanic, and even liberals see these clips and they say, are you surprised? They shake their heads. They say, yep, usual suspects. They say, yep, that's about right.
Instead of getting mad after hearing something like that being said, you should get mad at the folks who are creating this type of behavior that formulates these opinions. You should be upset hearing someone from another culture, and every culture out there looks at these clips and these videos and they think that. They're looking at black folks and saying they're acting a fool. And black folks to get mad because they're going, these are racist folks looking at us. And I'm saying, what you're doing is you are making excuses for sorry behavior. Nothing worse than to feel like somebody looks at you as sorry. When I was growing up, you never wanted to be the kid that didn't get picked because they've been, don't pick him, man. He's sorry. You're going, I ain't sorry. Yeah, well, you know what? It's hard to defend whether black folks are sorry or not when you are watching clips like this, and then other black folks get mad when people look at y'all and go, man, them black people are sorry. They showing up acting a fool and pitying them and saying what they can't get right. They don't know how to act. It's not their fault. Those are things that people say that I go, don't say that. Don't say that. We're better than that. If I let y'all get away with that, if I let black folks get away with accepting those as excuses for their behavior, then I'm allowing black folks to be sorry. I know that black folks could be better than that. There was a time when we were. Okay, but for some reason, our culture has deteriorated to the point where other cultures look at us and go, man, them black folks are sorry. And if you don't believe me, look at this.
By now, you may have seen some of the teen takeover in Lakeview late Monday night. Many here jumped off the red line at Belmont, soon blocking traffic and jumping on cars. No violence, but disruption and damage. The disappointment doesn't end there when police asked CTA to help slow the flow.
They said that they are not going to bypass the station.
Well, chaos breaking out in downtown Chicago on Saturday night as hundreds of young people crowded the streets. And the video coming from this shocking, showing massive groups jumping on cars, causing tourists to flee the sound of gunfire. 2 teens were hospitalized after they were shot in all of this.
This right here is what it looked like on the streets of Chicago Saturday night.
We had people jumping on cars. This is insane.
Large numbers of young people crowding the area of the loop from Michigan Avenue to Clark Street and could be seen jumping on parked cars and smashing windows. 2 times, groups of teens were also seen punching, kicking, and stomping on someone on the ground.
The crime in Chicago is simply out of hand. It's nuts.
As chaos unfolded Saturday night, it was enough to disrupt traffic and CTA service. Officers flooded the scene, attempting to control the crowds. In the midst of it all, shots were fired just after 9, leaving 2 teens injured. A 17-year-old boy was hit in the leg, and a 16-year-old boy was shot in the arm. Meantime, this isn't the first time this weekend police have responded to a massive group of teens. Hundreds took over 31st Street Beach Friday night, where a 14-year-old boy was also shot.
Now, you want to defend that? I mean, if you're listening to what he's talking about and you're mad, please defend that. I mean, in fact, do me a favor. Show me the clips of hundreds of white kids doing that. Because I know immediately they're going to say, he's white. White folks act up too. Show me the alternative footage. Show me the clips of any other culture. Asians doing that. Show me video footage of Native Americans, even Hispanics. I mean, there's a small group of Hispanics out there in LA to be doing the car thing, but the whole teen takeover, the whole just kicking cars and twerking in the middle of the street, where are these kids' parents? I mean, you know these things are going on. You should have some idea that your kid is probably going out, running down there, participating in acts like this, and they just let them go out there. And it's embarrassing when I click on this stuff and I go, I know that almost every kid in that crowd is going to be black. It's embarrassing. I can't get mad at what this dude is saying after looking at that.
Are you not ashamed? And when are black people going to turn that around? I'm so sick of, and I think all of society is sick of, hearing about all these excuses. The problem is a lack of accountability. And I think a lot of people hide behind these various things, whether it's the liberals that say it's slavery and racism, or it's the conservatives, and they blame it on welfare, hip hop, or the Great Society. It starts with you. It starts with every individual person making choices like we all do. Who's raising these people? Who's raising these people? Some other people. It's baby mamas and baby daddies. I mean, who's perpetuating this? And who does it benefit to make these excuses and to say it's everybody else? I see this stuff and look, yeah, we are going to call it out. We, the Americans, we the white people of America, we the peaceful, law-abiding, tax-paying people of America are saying, hey, blacks, get together.
I also feel that way. Blacks, get your crap together. That's all you can say when you look at this stuff and you say, wow, the majority of all of this chaos is coming from a small percentage of folks in society. And that small percentage are black folks. 13% roughly of society, and the majority of all of this mass chaos is coming from black folks. But they're the quickest to get mad and upset and cry racism and blame it on everything else but us. And that's the problem. You cannot get better if you're misdiagnosing the problem. And it hurts to have to hear it called out by this gentleman right here. We should have more black folks out here making videos like this, saying, black folks, get your stuff together. See, I know there's going to be black folks right now that's going to dismiss everything this dude is saying because he's white. But if you're being honest and you're watching these clips, you're telling me this is okay behavior? You're telling me this behavior out of all of these black folks are not setting a tone? You're telling me that there's some reason, some other excuse besides parenting and besides low social skills and horrible behavior? Yeah, you're telling me that this is okay? Give me the excuse and show me the alternative. Show me the other folks out there wilding out like this, and maybe we can talk. But right now it appears to be coming from us, and that's a problem. So yeah, he's calling it out, but so am I.
Get your fucking shit together. We are fucking tired of you. We are tired of seeing this stuff. It always seems to be you. Do you know that, and I'm just expressing what is a common sentiment. Do you know that everybody thinks that if we snapped our fingers and you all disappeared tomorrow, everybody thinks our quality of life would go up? Do you realize that? I'm just saying it. Everyone's thinking it.
That hurts. That hurts to hear. But if you think about this, the negative impact on society when it comes down to crime and things like this. I said black people are 13% of the population. And a lot of these things that are happening are criminal activities, and it messes up the quality of life. And all you got to do is just look at this. We are number 2 in all of these categories when it comes down to criminal activity. And we're second to white folks only because white folks outnumber us by so much that, of course, their numbers are going to be higher. But when you look at this, relative to the small percentage of black folks in our society, and yet they represent these high amounts of crime, all you can do is go, oh, God, that's embarrassing. That is embarrassing. So now look at all of these categories: rape, robbery, aggravated assault, burglary, larceny, all number 2. We're number 2 straight down the board. Motor vehicle theft, arson, violent crimes, property crimes, other assaults, just right now, embezzling, stolen property, everything, vandalism, weapons carry, possessions, prostitution, unbelievable, sex offense, drug abuse, gambling, offenses against the family and children, driving under the influence, liquor laws, Everything. Right down the category. It's right down the board. Number 2, look at the high impact that we have on society when it comes down to all those categories. All those categories. So he has a point. He has a point. Especially when it comes down to these large groups of black folks that go out there and act a fool in society. Yeah. Who do you think that is impacting? Who? I mean, do you think that folks are just overlooking that? Do you think these areas that these folks are doing this in would be better if they weren't there doing that? It would. If we could go back to a time when black people had some sense of dignity and pride, and the way we were perceived, the way folks looked at us, then we would be better off. But right now, how can I defend stuff like this? You don't think if these black folks weren't here in this next clip, you don't think that community would be better off? Look at this mess.
Everybody must eat. Everybody must eat. Everybody must eat. Everybody must eat. Yes. Everybody must eat. Everybody must eat. Everybody must eat. Everybody must eat. That's what I'm talking about. Rest well, Eddie. Rest well, Eddie. Uh-oh, look, here come more people. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Hey, fool, what's your TV on me, bro?
No, Nene, back up. Hold on, wait. Mario, back up. Hold on. Hold on. Hold the fuck on. What was he then?
Come on.
Right there, nigga. That's what they see. Where's China?
Go to the sidewalk.
Nene, come on, China good. He right here. China right here. He good.
Look at your screen. This is surveillance video of the burglary crew here at the smoke shop on Taylor Street in Little Italy. The crew breaks the front window before busting through the door, quickly able to pull the ATM from the back of the store where it was bolted to the ground, pushing it right out the front door.
What's up, y'all? We have this beautiful customer today, and I'm by Beauty. See, she's the best customer. Oh, what happened? What happened? Clever, not like that. Damn. See? Yeah, put it. Yeah, push it. Damn, the bag is not closed. See, what's going on? Slow. Push. Yes, tight. Damn, it's fuller. Customer service. What's going on? Oh shit, she pregnant. Damn. Yep. Damn, I'm sorry.
I mean, what can you say to that? Yeah, you can get mad all day listening to what he has to say. But what can you say to these clips as you watch this? And like I said, I'm open-minded. Show me the videos where a whole bunch of white kids are doing stuff like this. Whole bunch of white folks are just going in and committing burglary right out there in the open. Broad daylight sometimes. Show me it. I mean, I'm just saying. I want to be able to dispute what he's saying, but it's hard to do when I see things like that.
When we think of what's wrong with Chicago, it's like utopia. Chicago's like a utopia. Beautiful riverfront, beautiful lakefront, concerts in the park, ball games in the park, beautiful architecture, the best food. You know what the one problem is with Chicago that's driving the businesses out of the Magnificent Mile? You know what the one problem is that's making the public transit unusable? You know what the one problem is that's driving richer residents from the city?
Margaret Vatum says she came to Chicago to see the ballet, but it was the scene in front of her that caused her to move quickly back to her hotel. She's been to the city many times before, but feels uneasy after Saturday's event.
Now you see that? I mean, do you think that's good for business? You think that's good for tourism? And yet they're talking about Trump is going to send folks up there to Chicago to shut down the crime. It's going to be scary for black people and things like that. And I'm saying, Why do you think all the businesses are leaving? Why do you think, business owners are saying something's got to be done about the crime? Why do you think folks aren't wanting to go to Chicago to enjoy the beauty of Chicago? Do you think it's because there's a whole bunch of white folks out there wilding out and acting a fool? A whole bunch of, Latinos, a whole bunch of Asians? Do you think that's what's going on? I mean, it's obvious who's causing all of the problems when it comes down to the crime. When you look at all of those folks that got shot over that weekend, how many white folks did you hear about getting shot? These were all black folks getting shot. You think folks want to put themselves in these environments and conditions? It's embarrassing. It really is. And I get mad listening to other black folks make excuses about this. Once again, we shouldn't have to hear this come out of this white guy right here. We should be the first one saying, get y'all stuff together.
It's the crime. It's the chaos. It's the violence. And you know what demographic is almost exclusively responsible for it? It's you. It's people. Everyone's thinking that. Everyone's sick of it.
Man, no, it ain't. No, it ain't. Man, stop stereotyping us, man. Man, you always blaming us for stuff. Or is he?
Street location in Emeryville. You can see here the man in all black. He grabs the phones from the display tables, puts them into his pockets, and then he walks out of the store. He also walks past an Emeryville police car before getting into a Hyundai Elantra. Now, we have since learned, though, that there was not an officer in that patrol vehicle at the time.
Tonight, the urgent manhunt for dozens of robbers targeting department stores and luxury brands in highly coordinated and often violent smash and grabs. Just hours before Thanksgiving Day, police say thieves used bear spray to assault a security guard at a Los Angeles Nordstrom. 5 of them brazenly making off with $25,000 worth of designer purses. That same night, thieves stealing $20,000 worth of merchandise at an Apple store north of San Francisco. And this past weekend, roughly 80 people running back to their cars after a flash mob style heist at an Oakland area Nordstrom, snatching items. One employee was pepper sprayed, another attacked.
It's unlikely that 80 people are just going to show up and arbitrarily just decide to do this at once. It's the gang network that we see engaged in this type of activity.
Burglars also over the weekend taking a sledgehammer to a Beverly Hills Louis Vuitton and Saks Fifth Avenue store, but unable to make it inside before police cars approached. Law enforcement across the country now concerned about similar crimes. Police near Chicago say 14 thieves stormed a Louis Vuitton in broad daylight as shoppers scatter, masked looters emptying shelves, making off with $120,000 worth of merchandise in mere seconds.
The smash and grab thieves steal thousands of dollars in high-end watches from a jewelry store. This is Newport Beach. The smash and grab robbery happened last Friday at Jewelers on Time. That was about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Surveillance video captured the robbery. A man inside the store appeared to hold a security gate open.
I'm saying, ooh, maybe he's right. Maybe it is us. Maybe there's something going on in the black community that needs to be addressed. I mean, what's the deal? What is causing this? What has happened to black folks that have allowed us to increase these type of behaviors in public, to just become a nuisance? And I'm not saying all black folks, we all know that as black people, we know that this isn't the majority of black folks acting like this, but it's such a high percentage. And then the ones that aren't participating in this will oftentimes get mad and still support this indirectly by getting upset when it is either addressed or anybody else call it out. They want to cry racism, and indirectly what you're doing is you are defending this type of behavior. Yeah, you're allowing these folks to be sorry if every time somebody calls this type of crap out, you cry racism and make excuses for it. You have to ask yourself, what has happened to black folks that have made us end up acting like this? And I would have to dare to say it's probably the downfall of our culture. I mean, if you don't believe me, all you got to do is just look at the differences of how black folks behaved back in the 40s, 50s, and 60s. They were proud. They got up every day. They dressed up. They would say, look, man, stop acting a fool. You don't want folks looking at you like that. They wanted to make sure that they were civilized. The way men and women dressed, my grandfather would get up every day, wouldn't even go to work, but put on his jacket, his little button-up shirt, his nice pants and sit on the porch, put his little top hat on. Everywhere he went presentable. He wasn't going out there looking like some of these folks are.
You're not going to believe what happened. Tell me everything. I'll show you on Monday.com. So I started the biggest initiative.
Yeah, and somewhere along the line, we lost that. Our culture has declined so much to where these type of things are looked at as funny. It's just, we just being black, making excuses like what we're going to see as we close out. A perfect example of a young black man who seemed to be a little more socially aware, have some social skills. He's in a nice position, but his mind is stuck, okay, in making excuses for black folks. He's not even aware of how we are the sum total of our own choices. Let's go ahead and close out with this.
You have to also take into the fact that black people have only been able to completely legally be able to make profit for themselves for around 60 years. And this is no. Since segregation ended in 1965 and the Equal Rights Act in 1965. So what you're talking, there's not.
How does that? So let's talk about you. How did that impact you? How did something that happened 60 years ago impact your life?
It impacts me all the time.
How?
What do you? Okay.
You're at Texas A&M. You're doing great.
Okay. Yes. Sure. Yeah.
So aren't you a living example that all that's a bunch of nonsense and you can just act good and behave well and succeed?
But there's also living examples of the exact opposite. If you look in the impoverished neighborhoods in certain parts of Chicago or St. Louis, there's black communities being thrown aside because they're not getting education.
Thrown aside? Okay,
yes,
so
aside.
I think we can get somewhere. Why have the black community gotten poorer since the passage of the Civil Rights Act? Tell me that.
Because of the way the culture has been perpetuated through the years.
Hold on. Think about it. So they were richer when we were segregated and more racist. America's become less racist.
What about Tulsa?
Yeah, no one's going to defend what happened in Tulsa again. But let's talk. We're talking about a lot of different cities. We're talking about Chicago, Tulsa. But let's again. This is a very important point. Do you think the fact that 70% of black youth don't have a dad around is probably pretty important?
That's because of the culture that I mentioned earlier.
So respectfully allow me to interject. How does the white culture impact the fact whether or not a black dad stays around when he impregnates a woman?
I'm not saying it's the white culture.
What is it?
The culture that has been perpetuated through the 200 years of slavery, the 100 years of segregation, and Jim Crow laws.
Now see, once again, it's the culture that's been perpetuated through the 200 years of slavery, this and that. And you're telling me black folks aren't smart enough or aware enough at this point to overcome that? Our mind is still suffering from an era that we didn't even experience or live through. We're not able to say, you know what, maybe we should act better. When you blame it on stuff like that, what you're saying is we're sorry. You're saying we dumb. You're saying we don't have the ability to look at these things and say, look, those things happened years ago, but right now there's nothing standing in the way of us changing our behavior except us. All we're doing is using that stuff to be sorry. The past to be sorry. So now, once again, a white man is addressing this black kid and he's telling him, you know what the real problem is? Stinking thinking. So this guy's talking about it's the culture because the church at the white man. But yet at the same time, Charlie Kirk is about to bring out some facts that I'm saying, well, if that's the case, why were we better off after slavery? Why were black men and women sticking together and having family units after slavery? At what point did we just start to say, well, you know what? We were all sticking together. The family unit was tight. Slavery didn't break up the family unit like that. We came back together. We now, we actually are prideful to have a husband, wife, and kids. We're embarrassed when, a mother says, well, I ain't got no daddy in the house. It's embarrassing to say, well, I got a divorce. It's embarrassing to say, well, I got an abortion. These things were embarrassing to black folks during a certain era after slavery, after all of the stuff that young man mentioned. But after time, for some reason, we just threw all that stuff off. No longer ashamed to say, I got 4 or 5 kids and I'm only 20. No longer ashamed to say, well, you know what, I'm working on my 3rd divorce. No longer. These things now in the black culture just seems to be, normal. When I taught in high school, kids were shocked when people said they had a mother and a father that lived in the house. Shocked. They were shocked when one girl asked this girl who was, I think, maybe 15, how many kids you got? The girl looked at her and was like, what? None. I'm only 15. You ain't got no kids yet? Just like that. Just asked her. You know what I'm saying? So wait, we weren't always like that. We didn't always think like that. So what are you talking about? This guy, once again, has bought into that garbage that, you know what, slavery and stuff that built the culture and all of this stuff. No, our culture deteriorated. It wasn't like that, and it became like this.
In 1960,
the number one fix for ringing ears. Huh, okay. Let's see.
Most people think the fastest way to quiet that.
Before the Civil Rights Act, 20% of black youth had a dad around. Now it's, 20% were single fathers, 80% had a dad around. It's been inverted. So we actually have seen black dads run away from their kids the last 60 years. Why is that?
Because of the raised incarceration rates, because of the perpetuated culture.
So how does one go to jail?
That's obvious. I'm not answering that question.
Yeah, so maybe it's because they committed crimes.
Okay, but when you're forced it's not just this is old, this is in the past, this doesn't affect you anymore.
Okay, so actually let's take a different group. How did the Holocaust impact Jews? They're doing pretty well.
Well, because they got reparations, we didn't.
How? What reparations did the Jews get?
Through acknowledgement, through money, through
we acknowledge slavery happened.
Okay, but you're sitting here and acting like it plays no role.
No, but to your argument, the Holocaust was 80 years ago. Half of all the Jews on the planet were killed. Everything they earned was taken. Jews are doing great. If all of a sudden something that happened 80 years ago impacts your material prosperity, how did Jews defy the curve? How did poor Asians do so well? Why is it that Asians are now the wealthiest minority in America, many of whom came with no money in the 1950s or 60s?
Because of the culture and opportunities that were provided to them.
But you're not hearing me out. Black Americans have had the same opportunities. However,
people still look at us like criminals every day.
Hold on, but I don't look at you like a criminal.
I'm not saying you do. I'm saying some people do.
But I mean, do you want me to be brutally honest with you, or do you want me to be politically correct?
Brutally honest with you.
Okay. Do black people commit more crimes than white people? It's not even close.
Okay. But you have to take into account the culture that has been perpetuated.
Okay, got it. So we can agree on this. Do you mean internal black culture?
It's not. It's deeper than that.
Do you think? Let's take time out. Do you think the average rap artist that a black kid in the hood is listening to is glorifying marriage and family and saving your money?
That's what sells, because it's a culture thing. It's not just within the black community.
I agree. No, but hold on.
Everyone listens to it. It's not just isolated.
It's bad for everyone who listens to it. The point being is that black youth, as they are being raised, their role models are largely not glorifying staying with one woman, getting married, going to church. And if you're wrong, show me the black role models that are doing that. There might be a couple I could think of, maybe. But if it's about culture, you're right. The internal black culture has collapsed the last 60 years.
Absolutely. That's exactly what happened. See, this guy is misplacing the blame. He got it right. He's saying it's the culture, but he's blaming white folks on somehow creating our culture. Somehow forcing us to listen to certain music that influences negatively. Somehow influencing us to walk around with our pants hanging off our butt. Don't know how to, speak proper English. Don't know how to shave and clean up when you go into an interview. Going out just using all types of broken English. Don't know how to have decent social skills, conflict resolution. Somehow white folks have done this to us. And I'm saying, well, we weren't always like that. I'm looking at an era that we actually dressed up, behaved, knew how to speak, go into interviews, show folks that we wanted the job, show up on time. But for some reason, we've changed. And this guy's saying it's the culture. It's the culture. But who's responsible for the culture? Who's responsible for that? Now, I know some folks will say, well, it's because of the welfare system and how they, sent the welfare system into the black communities to break up the father and stuff. Yeah, a lot of that played into the destruction of the family unit when it comes down to black folks. But that same group of folks who orchestrated that are the same group of folks that black folks are voting for to this day. Yeah, the same group of folks that were responsible for all the stuff this guy's talking about when he's talking about slavery and Jim Crow laws are the same group of folks that get out there and tell you racism is the greatest threat to black folks and all of this stuff. And I'm saying, so you're supporting all of those folks who knew that this was probably a good idea and way to, put black people in a certain position where they're more likely to buy our crap and support our party and vote for us at like 90%. I'm just saying, I'm pretty sure that guy's voting for those folks who don't give a darn about the family unit and when it comes down to black folks. But ultimately, it comes down to us making better decisions. Just because somebody, threw a monkey wrench at us, you're telling me all of the stuff that black folks have overcame down through all the years, now we can't overcome the fact that slavery took place all those years ago, and you got the welfare system, and we just can't get right. Our mind is stuck on stupid. And then you listen to all of the white liberals out there that pity us and say that, you know what, it's just that they can't get right. Look at, they're always behind the 8 ball. They can't read. They can't do this. They can't get jobs. They can't. That's all I hear. They can't. And it makes me mad. Every time I hear that, I go, you know what? This guy right here, he's blaming it on everything. He's allowing himself and others to be sorry. When I hear even white liberals look at us like that, I go, no, you're talking about us like we're sorry. All right. We're better than that. Don't be talking about we can't get IDs to vote. That we don't know how to get on the internets and stuff like that. That is the racism of low expectations. Would you want white liberals and other cultures to look at us like they pity us? Is that how you want it to be? You want us to say they can't help it because of the past and all of that? Is that what you want as a black person? Or would you want to say that, hey, that might have happened, but I overcame it. I grew up in the same environment. Youngstown, Ohio, horrible, overcame it. And it starts with the majority of black folks with common sense and social behavior and skills starting to check the other folks who's acting a fool and accurately identify the problem. And the problem is not racism, slavery, the white man, it's us.
We're no longer elevating the family. We're no longer elevating staying with the person that you're with. So our contention here as conservatives is that the systemic racism stuff is a bunch of rubbish. Instead, it's systemic bad choices.
Do you feel that systemic racism isn't real?
Of course not. What can I do that you can't do? Name it.
Okay.
No, seriously. What can I do that you can't do?
Fallacy. That's a slippery slope.
No, it's not.
I don't know why.
Very simple. No, because back in 1940, you would have been able to answer that question. Well, Charlie, there's a bathroom over there that I can't go to. There's a major league team.
I can't walk into the grocery store and get the same looks that you do. I walked into Brookshire Brothers a couple of weeks ago when I was looked at.
That's an insanely hyper paranoid way of living life. That's not evidence, right?
It's a real example.
By the way, if I walk into a black neighborhood, I get bad looks too, okay? So I don't know what the contention is.
Because of the way you treat our culture and the way you perpetuate.
Oh, wait, hold on. The way we treat your culture, we have gone to such great calisthenics and ridiculous gymnastics to prove that we're not racist. In fact, it's the worst thing that you could be called in America. We had, during, George Floyd 2020, we had hundreds of millions of dollars given to Black Lives Matter. I don't know where that money went. Did it improve material worth of Black America? So, and we actually do know where it went, actually.
We're forced into underfunded communities where schools are based off of property value. We can't.
Well, actually, school choice is now the law of the land here in Texas, so that's not correct. Secondly,
do you just expect a single-parent home to pick up and move into some rich neighborhood?
Well, again, so let's go back to why are they the single-parent home?
Because of the hundreds of years.
Do you believe in the maxim or the belief that you should take responsibility for your decisions?
It's not just one person's decisions. It's so much deeper than that.
See,
why are you trying to?
That's where you and I have a different belief. You believe in this.
It's not. It's a fact.
No, it's a belief. Again, you have to tell me then, why do Jews do so well? Holocaust didn't impact their material worth. How did Asians do so well? And by the way, even more so, why are Hispanics getting so much wealthier? If we were so racist, why are Hispanics all of a sudden gaining income the last 20 years? There's something.
It's a difference in culture.
German engineers created a way that lets you hear whispers from across the room using a $99 device that insurance companies
He don't know why they're clapping. He wants to be sorry. He wants these excuses. I mean, do you think any other culture are making these type of excuses? And that's what burns me up. Black folks are stuck on stupid. It burns me up. It's the culture. It's the, the years of slavery and this and that. And they all had I mean, you look at these other cultures who have been persecuted in some era or some time, but yet they overcome because it starts with the thinking. You look at how Asians approach, education. They have pride in certain things. The Latino community is hardworking folks. These are communities that I have observed myself. Asian folks, man, they be getting it in. Indians, all of them, Africans. But then you get to Black Americans. And for some reason, a large proportion of them can't get right. They've been brainwashed into thinking that there's always something standing in the way of our success. And we always got to blame some, past boogeyman for the way we're behaving right now. And this young man is doing that. And the folks are saying, we're not trying to hear that anymore. And that's why they're clapping. Because what Charlie Kirk is saying makes sense. What this guy's doing is saying, I'm going to try my best to be sorry. That's what I'm going to do.
But it's a difference in culture. The way that each culture is treated is so vastly different in America.
But again, you have to tell me, other than bad looks at the grocery store, how else is your future, you as a man in America, not a black man, how is your future somehow restricted by racism?
My natural hair is seemed as unprofessional when I go into an office or workplace. When I walk around in certain places, people just assume, like I've said earlier, the dirty looks. When people think you are automatically the worst of the worst solely because
we don't think that.
You've interrupted me like 10 times
because
now.
you think you know what white people think, and you don't.
I don't know what white people think.
Then why do you keep on saying you know what white people think?
Because I've seen it. I'm not
you've
saying
seen
I
our
think
thoughts?
I've seen what people have done to me and people who look like me around the world and in America.
How? Again, you are. Let's just make an example. You are here in the wealthiest country ever.
Yes.
At an amazing university with all the opportunity imaginable in front of you. And all you want to do is look backwards at everything that prevented you when you are a glaring example that there is no systemic racism and you can actually achieve your wildest dreams.
Whoa, I never said that. Hey, I'm not the only black person who exists out there. There's so many people who this culture is affecting to this day.
Do you know black Americans are the richest black people on earth? You cannot find a black majority country or any country where black people have significant representation where they are as wealthy, because even the poorest people in America are in the top 5%, the top 2% of wealth around the world. And so my whole belief is stop acting like you're a victim and start making better choices.
Not acting like a victim, whoa.
Respect.
This is not a victim mentality.
No, it fundamentally is, because white people are not out to get you. There is nothing holding black people back. Let me say that again. There is nothing holding black people back. In fact, the opposite. You can get into colleges with lower test scores, but you could say things that white people can't say and not be fired for it. Black people are wildly disrepresentation.
People say that to me all the time, and they just walk around like it doesn't mean anything around here.
Say what? Say the what?
The N-word. I'm not going to say it on this public platform, but people say it to me all the time.
Derogatorily.
Yes.
No, I think you're lying.
Why would I be lying
about you're trying to tell me at this campus, did you report it to Student Services?
I'm not. I have too much on my plate to worry about this.
So you're going to say at this campus, you're going to indict the moral character of Texas A&M.
I'm not indicting the moral character
yes,
of Texas
you are.
A&M.
You're saying that.
I'm indicting the moral character of one person or a few people.
Now it's one. So you heard it all the time, and now it's one. Got it. So
it's not. Okay, you're taking me out of context. This is the point, is that I don't believe you, because now you resort back to a race hoax to make it seem as if the white kids on this campus are like racist and terrible. Kids.
Oh, so was it a black guy that said it to you?
I'm not.
It matters a lot, because this is how lies are able to grow. Jussie Smollett, we see this. You have to challenge them head on.
Do you think I'm lying when I say that people say the N-word around here? And just
if I think a white person comes up to you derogatorily and says, shut up, N-word, I'm not
saying they said it.
I said, are they saying it derogatorily?
But that doesn't mean it's word for word like that.
But okay, so then it's not an insult then. So then don't bring it up as if it's evidence of racism.
Because you brought the N-word up first. I didn't.
No, I didn't.
No. You specifically said Name me an instance of the
No, I
N-word
said
or other
I said
things.
black people can say things that white people can't say. Of course, that's true.
But that's automatically implying that one word.
It's more than that. But let me just kind of build this out
what
further.
What is it then?
There's a lot of things black people can say.
Explain it to me.
You want me to give you more examples of things? Yes. Black people are allowed to talk about black culture in a way that white culture cannot. For example, black people can go up and say that there's a baby mama problem in black America, and white people are not allowed to say that. Oh, I just did. So what are you going to do, cancel me? Black people are allowed to say... Black people are allowed to say...
I'm a grown man. I got way too much to
Black people are allowed to say that there is a systemic fraud issue within the PP loan application in black America. Black people are much easier to be able to say that black individuals, despite being 13% of the American population, commit 55% of the murders. If most white people say that at a job, they would get fired for being a racist. I don't care because I say whatever I want. So black individuals have much more intellectual public freedom than white people do. If a white person were to come up and say, you know, black America really needs to get its act together and stop sleeping around all the time and needs to actually have monopoly.
Why would you
Because it's true. Because
why would you just walk up to someone and talk and attack their culture from the outside?
Well, hold on. Hold on. Let's look at the evidence. You said to myself, you said there's all these people suffering in Chicago. There's all these people that are terrible. I'm telling you why. It's because there's been bad decisions that have been institutionalized. Let me finish. And rap artists and athletes and people at the top level of black society that refuse to ever challenge the core rot in black America, which is that they are allowing degeneracy and hedonism to eat the soul of what once was a beautiful black culture, and instead they go around saying it's the boogeyman of racism, the white man is out to get you, and the result is black America is doing worse than it was in the 1960s. That is the contention. Period.
I mean, yeah, that's pretty much it. There are folks in black culture that enables other black folks that are acting a fool and being sorry, blaming it on all kind of stuff, throwing out accusations of racism instead of just being honest and saying, look, hey, how about we hold our own people more responsible for this? How about we demand better behavior? How about we encourage, a lot of folks and communities that unfortunately have a whole bunch of kids that act this way. How about we encourage them to get your hands on your own kids and make sure they're not down there running around, jumping on top of cars, twerking and stuff in the middle of the night? How about we encourage that? But instead, we want to blame everybody but them. And it's embarrassing. As a black person, I'm saying, okay, you want to be looked at differently? How would you think, after seeing all the clips I've showed, how would you think an Asian person would feel if their Asian daughter brought a black person home? Black person probably could be one of the best behaved black folks ever. But immediately they, oh God, you know what? I don't know. I don't know if we want this brother, Indian, Jewish. There's so many different cultures that immediately will go, oh boy, this is a risk. I don't know. Seen a lot of things, heard a lot of things, but not just heard, seen a lot of things. It ain't one of those just the rumors. We got evidence. Show me the evidence of all the Asians jumping on cars and tearing up stuff and going in and looting and stuff. The Jews, the Italians, the Irish, name them. I mean, pick one. Pick one. Show me any group of people that's behaving like we're seeing black Americans behave. And yet we want to get mad when they say, well, we got black fatigue. We're sick of seeing this behavior, sick of hearing y'all all blame it on everything else and call everybody else racist. Sick of that mess. Because I am.
It's not just that. It's a culture. It's so much deeper than the present day we are in. I don't know why you're pretending like it just doesn't matter.
Now, see, this guy wants to be sorry. This young man right here, he is looking for every reason to be sorry. He's talking about, the way white people look at us and this and this and that. No. How do you look at us? That's my question. I mean, and you're talking about racism, and Charlie Kirk brings up a good point. This is the best time in the world for black people right now when it comes down to having the rest of society tiptoeing around them on eggshells. I mean, the worst thing you could do is call out a white person for racism. And I think we've even overcompensated to the point where a lot of these folks will sling that mess out there to get away with stinking behavior. You judging me because I'm racist? No, I'm judging you because you're acting a fool. You're judging me because you fired me because you racist. No, I'm firing you because you show up late every day. You talk on the phone at work. You go to break early, and come back late. Your behavior sucks. That's why. but you're crying racism for everything. So this guy right here, he don't get it. He's blaming the culture, but he's misplacing who really is encouraging this culture, this cultural behavior.
There is nothing that is preventing black people from prospering. Nothing. The only thing is that you guys have been hypnotized to be victims of your own mind, to think as if there's a white person out to get you. I walk in the grocery store, they look at me differently. All that stuff is complete rubbish. You want the thing that is preventing
life
you.
Experiences. You're just denying my experience. I just shared to you in front of all these people.
If you think that, okay, let me just be very clear.
I know
America has come really far. If your best example of racism is getting bad looks in a grocery store, we have made incredible racial moral progress.
That's only my experience. There are so many other people out
I'm
there.
happy to hear every example that they have. It boils down to this. We are not just a racist country. We are the least racist country ever to exist. We go out of our way not to be called the R word, to demonstrate that we aren't racist, to show to people that I have compassion for others and that I want to try to help, people of different skin color. If you want to have a privileged life in America, very simple. Start acting a certain way. Our belief system is that you come down to the most foundational family unit. And when that breaks down so severely, don't be shocked if that group, when it acts that way, stays in poverty over a longer period of time. Asians are incredibly loyally married. It's one of the reasons why Asian Americans do so well in this country. Hispanics do very well. White Americans increasingly are not doing as well.
They also came here by choice too. My ancestors did not come here by choice, but
so
we don't have to go too far into that.
We don't have to go into that. I want to get the next question. Again, you should be kissing the ground because you're right. You didn't come here by choice, but
why are you telling me to?
Hold on, I'm telling you right now. You should be kissing the ground with gratitude because you're right. You are not in Africa, and you should be thankful you're not in Africa, that you're in the United States of America. That's my end of contention. Thank you very much.
Well, I think Charlie Kirk put that very plain and simple, because as much as you see a lot of black Americans complaining about slavery and stuff like that, they're not rushing back to Africa. They should be thankful. Yeah, it wasn't cool the way black folks in the past were brought here, but at the same time, I'm glad that I'm here. I wouldn't want to be in any other country, and that's why all those other folks are trying to come over here. But somehow this young man, he wants to blame it on a time frame that he has no connection to. He's smart and intelligent enough at this point to know how to act and take advantage of all of the benefits that America has provided, but instead he wants to make excuses about his ancestors, generations and generations that he's removed from, somehow because they were brought here against the will. It's impacting me today. Those African ancestors are making young black kids run down there and jump on top of those cars and block traffic and shoot each other. They're not doing that. Those ancestors aren't, making black folks break into these stores and rob and stuff like that. They're not doing that. They're not making these folks going to the places half dressed, booty shaking. They're not doing that. And neither is white folks making them do that. These are choices done by black people. And the sooner black people stop making excuses about this, maybe there can start to be some healing when it comes down to the black community and the black culture. This behavior has to stop. And yeah, white, black, or otherwise, calling this stuff out is not racism. It's just observation. It's just calling it for what it is, and it should hurt black folks to actually have to hear this come out of two white folks. There it is, Charlie Kirk and the other guy. It should be tons of black folks out there checking this type of behavior like it used to be when black folks had a sense of pride back in the day, where old folks around the neighborhood, boy, you acting a fool. Don't you embarrassing your family. Get yourself home. Pull your pants up. Hey, but now all of a sudden, you say that stuff. You're a sellout. You're Uncle Tom. You know what? You're just trying to be white. You're trying to tell folks to use proper English. You want me to talk white. Just stupid stuff like that. And then you get these videos out there and you can't defend it. You just can't defend it. So yeah, that was a tough message, but it was a tough, truthful message that if somebody is being honest as a black person and might get mad, you have to say, that evidence is pretty overwhelming. Look pretty bad on behalf of black folks. And maybe I'm going to start changing that perception, starting with me. Next black person I see, encouraging that behavior, I gotta laughing at it, joking, and making excuses for him. Saying, man, come on, man. Come on, that's not right. That's not cool behavior. If you're one of them that treat us differently and view us differently, then start acting differently. Now, God bless you. God bless America. Thanks for listening to me. Don't forget to hit the like button on the way out. Check out my alternative channel called Stop and Think About It. The links are below the video. You can support the channel also through my Cash App, my PayPal link, and all that good stuff. Other than that, we'll catch you on the next one. God bless you. Take care.
Some YNs of Chicago are all up on the internet talking about Trump better not come to Chicago. Trump better not come to Chicago. He better not do this and he better not do that. Shout out to Daniel Jackson React said, it's fitting to be on like popcorn. I only got one question for all of the YNs. And it's a simple question. Very simple question. And this question is not just specific to Chicago YNs. This question is to any YNs, no matter what city, no matter what state you live in. Who the fuck do y'all think you are? Like, seriously, who do you think you are? Like, let's think about it from a societal perspective. What the fuck do you contribute to society? Oh, you don't contribute anything to society. All you do is fucking take. That's all you fucking do. That's all you do. Like fucking locusts. All you do is take. All you do is take. All you do is take, destroy, plumage, pillage, damage. That's all you do. Because of niggas like you, We don't even have a black community anymore. You don't even have a black community. You don't have a community if you can't even walk down the fucking street. If you can't walk down the street and not have to worry about your own safety, you don't have a fucking community. And I'm going to tell you something right now. To all of you older black folks that's on social media bragging about how y'all's YNs is built, y'all are the dumbest niggas in existence. You are by far, hands down, fucking pathetic excuses for black people. Like I come on YouTube and social media, and I watch y'all just day in and day out act a goddamn monkey. Like just day in and day out. Like when does it stop? When? When do you grow the fuck up? And this is what's so funny. You probably don't even fucking realize you're doing it. What's so funny is that every single time one of you niggas make a damn video talking about you better not send no troops here because we built different. You just don't know. This is why I call it the rack. This is why you're proving Trump's point. By you saying that shit, you are giving the world confirmation that not only should the troops go there, they should have been there. Because if we being totally honest, you niggas running around talking about this is my block and this is my city and ain't nobody elected you punks. This is America, Jack. Who the fuck elected you? Nobody. Nobody. You just some ignorant asshole that your mother gave birth to. When she should have went down there to Planned Parenthood. Running around here bragging about what? That you can beat people up? That you and a bunch of other knuckleheads can get together and go to somebody's block and shoot it up? That's what you're bragging about? The fact that average everyday black person can't walk down the street in your neighborhood, somebody that look just like you. This is what you're bragging about. I'm gonna tell you the truth, and I mean this, and I mean this for on God and everything I love. You young niggas, you ain't shit. You ain't shit. You ain't shit. You ain't shit. You ain't never gonna be shit. You ain't shit. And I, for one, I'm done. I'm done having empathy for you niggas. Because none of the shit you do or say is logical. None of the shit you do or makes any fucking sense. The moment that Trump said something about sending troops to Chicago, everybody came out the woodwork. No, don't send any troops here. The United States military is not supposed to be occupying cities. The United States military is not supposed to be used against the American people. American people? The same niggas that's complaining about troops coming to Chicago is the same niggas that named the fucking city Chirac. You literally named your city after a war zone. And you're surprised that troops are showing up. You stupid. You literally named your city after a war-torn country, Iraq. And you're surprised that the president is sending troops to Chirac. You run around the city calling yourselves savages. I'm a Chirac savage. But when someone proposes to treat you like a fucking savage, now all of a sudden you got civil rights. Now all of a sudden you a human being. Now all of a sudden you're a dignified American citizen. Ain't that a fucking trip? So you want to be a savage when you terrorizing the people of your community, but when the government start talking about bringing down the full force of the United States military on your head, now all of a sudden you ain't no savage. Now all of a sudden it's about your rights as an American. Ain't that a bitch? I swear, you can't make this shit up, bro. You can't make this shit up. I'm gonna tell you something right now. Even if I still thought the way I did when I was a young nigga, even if I still thought the way that I did when I was a young nigga, all it would take is for me to just take one look at you niggas and the way you act for me to be like, you know what? Nah. This shit ain't even worth it. This shit ain't even cool. This shit ain't even cool. Shout out to Zero Fall said, you want to be like Iraq, the military gonna show you what we did there. These ninjas writing checks their body can't cash. Yeah, precisely. This is the most ass ignorant shit I've ever witnessed in my life. This is the most ass ignorant shit I have ever witnessed in my life. I've never witnessed anything like this before. And it shows you, you know what it shows you? It shows you that I wasn't wrong about black folk.
Enemies.
All of this shit that I've been talking lately, every time I get up here and I go in on black folk, I'm not wrong. I haven't been wrong. I haven't been wrong. I haven't been wrong. I haven't been wrong. I've been 100% right. I've been 100% right. You niggas ain't, you Negroes don't know how to do anything except fuck up. You don't know how to do anything else. You don't know how to do anything else except fuck up and then beg for mercy after you get the consequences of fucking up. That's all you know how to do. That's all you know how to do. And see, here's the funniest thing about this, right? This is what's so funny about it. I was watching a video of some black folks fighting in Cincinnati, right? There's a guy I follow on Instagram. He's called Brooklyn Patriot. And what he does is he shows videos from all over the country. And it's usually black folks doing some wild shit. Every once in a while, there'll be some white folks doing something, but mostly black folks, right? I went to the comment section, and somebody in the comment section said, 13% of the population, but 95% of its problems. And there were a few other comments in there that, you know, one could interpret as being racist. But guess what? You have made it so easy. You niggas have made it so fucking easy for racist comments to be justified, because you have to ask yourself, is it really racist, or are they saying it because you niggas is really acting like that? See, there used to be a time where black folks had dignity. And so when somebody said something like, the problem with these black folks is all they want to do is rob people. See, that was a racist statement when it wasn't true. And see, you niggas run around here, you be wanting to pretend that you deserve the same benefit of the doubt that your grandparents deserved. No, nigga. Because you niggas ain't nothing like your grandparents. You niggas ain't nothing like your great-grandparents. You niggas ain't got no fucking sense. And you try to hide behind the concept of racial injustice as the justification for you running around here acting a goddamn fool every chance you get. And see, the reality is there's black folks like me, like myself. We sick of you niggas. We sick of you niggas ruining our fucking reputation. We sick of you niggas undoing all the fucking work that our grandparents and our great-grandparents put in to dispel the myth that black people was just a bunch of mindless savages and uneducated heathens, and all we wanted to do was commit crimes and act a damn fool. You niggas have undone all of that fucking work. You have literally lived up to the stereotype of racist Jim Crow white people, and got the nerve, after you live up to that damn reputation, got the nerve to yell out somebody being racist towards you. You can't make this shit up. You cannot make this shit up. And then every time I speak on it, every time I open my mouth to say something about it, here you niggas come in my damn chat room. Why you gotta talk about black folks like that? Why the fuck do you niggas gotta be like that? Instead of asking me why I'm talking about how y'all acting, why don't we talk about how you act? Instead of asking me, well, Angry Man, why you gotta talk about black folks? Why the fuck do black folks gotta do shit that I need to talk about? At what point are you gonna look at the niggas in the damn hood and say, you know what? You niggas need to go. It's time. It's time. It's time for you niggas. Go ahead and build another prison. It's time for you niggas to go. Before somebody's black grandma get knocked over the head and robbed. Before somebody's little black kid is outside playing hopscotch and catch a stray bullet from you dumbass YNs and your switches. Go ahead and tell me I'm wrong. I don't give a fuck because I know I'm not. I know I'm not. You know how I know I'm not? Because I was raised properly. That's how I know I'm not. I grew up in an era, I don't give a damn how gangster you was. I don't give a damn how hood you was. I don't give a damn how much of a street nigga you was. If we saw old ladies walking down the sidewalk and we were shooting dice, we would get up and move the fuck out of the way. We'd hide the dice. If one of them lived in the damn building that we lived in, we might even help them with the damn groceries. But you know what we didn't do? We didn't disrespect those old folks. We damn sure ain't knock them over upside the head and take what the hell they had. See, you YNs, you niggas is different. You some dishonorable, disrespectful, raggedy ass niggas. Cause in my era, if you knock some old woman over the head, the whole hood gonna get you the fuck up out of there. Let us find out you done knocked some old woman upside the head and took her shit. The whole damn hood gonna be on your head. Hey man, y'all hear about old boy? He done knocked Miss Myrtle upside the head and took her who? He did what to who? Get your ass up out of there that night, nigga. Niggas ain't shit. And I know what some of you doing. Some of you watching this shit right here said, that's all right, come to Chicago and talk that shit. Nigga, fuck y'all. I ain't coming to no damn Chicago. Nigga, you ain't got to prove to me you ain't shit. I believe you. I believe you. You ain't got to jump on me or shoot me or any of that shit to convince me that you ain't shit. You ain't got to do that. I already believe you. You ain't got to convince me. Shout out to Will. He said YNs would be scared to come off the porch once the OGs found out they robbed Miss Gertrude, who been looking out the OGs since they was babies. Facts. Shout out to Silent Sniper. Says someone needs to tell the YNs in Chicago there's a place on earth that has more gangsters and thugs than they do. The graveyard. Facts. And you know what? And I'm going to tell you the truth. Shout out to SL. He said, look who's raising the YNs in mass, and there lies the problem. That's 100% facts. Look. I'm going to tell you the truth. Even though we was respectful back in the day, this shit still makes me reflect on my youth and how fucking stupid I was. All of that street shit is stupid. all of that ghetto mentality, that hood mentality, that street shit, all of that shit is fucking stupid. It's fucking dumb. The dumbest shit I've ever engaged in my motherfucking life. I was stupid doing it. The niggas I knew was stupid doing it. And you niggas nowadays are even more stupid doing it. Because in this day and age, at least you got some kind of fucking opportunity. Nigga, you can literally make a living playing video games. Shout out to Daniel, said most black Americans keep in racism because of how they act. Exactly. And look, I'm pretty sure there's a whole lot of niggas that don't like what I'm saying the same way they don't like what Charleston White said. I don't give a fuck, man. I'm tired. Shout out to Hez Leo, said the graveyard in Venezuela got all the real G's. Yo, I'm tired. I'm tired. You niggas can call me a coon or Uncle Tom or I don't give a fuck, man. Because if I gotta act like you niggas to be considered a real nigga, then I don't want it. I don't want it. I'm good. If I gotta act like you niggas act. And look, I'm gonna tell you the truth. I'm gonna tell you the God's honest truth, bro. I'm gonna tell you the truth. Real talk. Real spill. There's a whole lot of shit I did back in the day, just adapting to my environment, just trying my best to fit in so that I don't end up becoming a victim or end up getting bullied. But let me tell you what I really thought growing up. Let me tell you what I really thought about all of it. When I sat around watching niggas roll up weed and I sat around watching niggas drink liquor and all of that shit, I used to think to myself, this is the dumbest shit anybody could ever fucking engage in. This is the dumbest motherfucking shit anybody could ever fucking engage in. It was weird for me. It was like being some kind of fucking alien creature having to watch from the outside looking in, because I never agreed with none of it. I didn't agree with smoking weed. I didn't agree with drinking liquor. I didn't agree with hanging on the corner. I didn't agree with none of this shit. But you niggas, you're so socially fucked up that the only way a black kid can be accepted in the community is you have to adapt all of that bullshit. You got to drink the liquor when they pass it to you. You got to hit the blunt when they pass it to you. You have absolutely no idea how much fucking potential we have destroyed. You have no fucking earthly idea how much potential we've destroyed. Just trying to be cool. You feel me? Just trying to fucking, be the image of some bullshit that ain't even nothing to look up to. Ain't even nothing to look up to. Ain't even shit to look up to. Running around the damn streets, trying to build a reputation for yourself, trying to be the toughest nigga. Trying to be the toughest nigga that makes the most money, tax-free, that gets the baddest bitches. Some shit that don't even add up to nothing by the time you become a fucking fully grown adult. By the time you become a fully realized motherfucking man, it don't add up to shit. All it adds up to is a bunch of goddamn war stories. You get to talk about how you was the man back in such and such. Man, you remember, man, I used to get all the bad bitches, you know what I'm saying? I used to be moving them things, you know what I'm saying? I had all the nice cars, and I had to, guess what? I know plenty of crackheads that got stories like that. Plenty. But I thank God. I thank Almighty God. I thank Almighty God that for some reason when I was born with some goddamn sense. I was born with some motherfucking sense, because when I hung around niggas, I would do enough to fit in, but I made sure that I had a limit. I would stop. I would go to the link, but I would always had a stopping point. And I don't give a fuck what nobody say. I have absolutely no doubt in my mind that shit right there is what kept my black ass out of prison. That shit right there is what kept me from being shot. And truth be told, when I was young, you know, I felt invincible just like every other young nigga felt invincible. But you want to know the reason why I had sense? You want to know the reason why I had sense? Because I had a grandmother that was a dignified black woman that taught me to have sense. And every time I was out there ripping and running the streets and I was getting into shit, the first thing that would pop into my motherfucking head whenever I was getting ready to get in some, what if I get in trouble and what is my grandmother gonna think? What's she gonna think? What's she gonna think? What kept me out of prison is I said, there's no way on God's green earth that I want my grandmother to have to come down to the motherfucking city jail or come down to a fucking prison and talk to me through some goddamn glass. A lot of you niggas don't got that because your mamas done normalized that shit. Your mamas done normalized your fucked up behavior. There ain't enough mamas that's ashamed of you niggas right now. And we can't even talk about Big Mama because she don't even exist no more. Y'all don't got no big mamas. Y'all got G-Mas and shit. You ain't got no grandmama. You don't have a grandmother that's proud she's a grandmother. You don't have a grandmother that's proud she's a grandmother. And that right there is the goddamn problem. If your mama and your grandmama listen to the same goddamn music, that's the problem right there. If your mama and your grandmama dress the same, that's the problem right there. That's the problem right there. Lord knows, that's the one thing. That's the one thing that I did not want. I did not want to disappoint my grandmother. Didn't want to do it. Shout out to Daniel Jackson. He said, facts AM. Instead, they're screaming, free him. Yep. Shit. In my grandmother's generation, they wouldn't be saying free him. They say they need to lock his ass up. Shout out to Trista, said, it's a fact that you have a conscience. You had a semblance of shame. My look, the old folks in my grandmother's generation, they wouldn't be saying free him. If you went to my grandmother and the old folks in that generation and say, you know, so and so got arrested, you know what they gonna say? They ain't gonna be like, they need to set him free. Why they arrest him? It must be race. They ain't gonna say that shit. When you say so and so got arrested, they're gonna be like, what'd they do? What did they do? Well, he shot somebody. Well, his ass needed to be locked up. See, I come from that generation where if you had a family member that was problematic, that stayed in some shit, my grandmother be like, hey, if so-and-so knock on this door, don't you let him in this house. Shout out to Ant-Man. He said, keeping it funky, AM. Appreciate you. Don't you let him in this house. There was a time when if you cut up too much, black families would disown your motherfucking ass. Shout out to Ron Around, said, please make this viral, real talk, and it's being heard. They would disown your ass. You come around, they look at you like, what you doing here? I had a family member like that. All he ever did was stay in trouble. All he ever did was keep some shit going. And I remember when I was a boy, my grandmother telling me and keep in mind, this was her nephew. This was her brother. This was her baby brother's son. My grandmother said, if so-and-so knock on this door, don't you let him in this house. Yes, Grandma. And there was one time he knocked on the door. He knocked on the door. I looked out there and saw it was him. I said, Grandma said, you can't come in here. I would tell her I said hello. That's the other thing. The other thing is when the old folks spoke, it was respected. No matter how much here's the thing. This is what you got to realize. It wasn't that my grandmother was saying don't let him in because he was going to come in and do something bad. No, that ain't the reason. That ain't the reason. The reason she said not to let him in the house is because she's disappointed in his ass. And he need to feel it. He need to know you ain't welcome here because you ain't hitting on 2 damn cents. Go somewhere and get your shit together. Start acting like you got some motherfucking sense, because contrary to popular belief, black people ain't never been savages. We ain't never been ignorant, ghetto and trifling and all of that shit. Shout out to the real PRC, said Cleon from Good Times. Appreciate you. Shout out to Alice. He said, talk your shit, AM. These YNs need to hear the truth. We ain't never been none of that. And the fact that you new niggas is trying your best to undo all of you trying your best to undo it all. Black folks ain't always agree with each other. W.E.B. Du Bois didn't agree with Booker T. Washington all the time. Brother Malcolm didn't agree with Dr. King all the time. But the one thing you can't take from them is they was dignified. You may not agree with everything they did, but at least they was about something. You niggas ain't about shit. I don't give a damn how you rationalize it. You ain't about shit. If you ripping and running the damn streets with a fucking pistol, bragging about a goddamn reputation, selling drugs and getting into fights, nigga, you ain't shit. And all of these niggas on TV that's making excuses for you, they ain't shit either. You want to try to act like, oh, black people being locked up, that's racism. No, nigga, some of you niggas need to be locked up. Because you ain't got no goddamn sense. Got people running around here talking about we don't got a culture. We do got a culture. You niggas is just fucking it up. We do got a damn culture. Who was Prince? Who was Michael Jackson? Who was Gordon Parks? Ernie Barnes? W.E.B. Du Bois? Reverend Wright? James Baldwin? B.B. King? Red Fox? Richard Pryor? We got a rich culture. And in 1 to 2 generations, you niggas is fucking it all the way up. And you know what's so funny about it? Half you niggas, I could start naming people right now, and half you young niggas won't even know who the fuck I'm talking. You don't know who Gordon Parks is. You don't know who James Baldwin is. You don't know what the Harlem Renaissance was. You don't know shit. You've lived up to the name Savage, because a savage don't know his ancestors. A savage don't know his forebearers. A savage don't live by no real fucking code. They just go out here and just do shit. They just react to shit. Living off of fucking instincts. I guess now one of you niggas never had nobody in your family that was Nation of Islam or God or 5%. Don't you know you ain't supposed to be a savage, Negro? I don't always agree with the Hoteps or the Hebrew Israelites, but at least them niggas will make you stand upright. At least they'll make you act like you got some sense. Be righteous. Instead of you ripping and running the damn street like a fool. Like a damn fool. And then you got these niggas out here marching and protesting and shit, talking about free you niggas like y'all Huey P. Newton or something. Like you Bobby Seale or something. You niggas ain't did shit for nobody. You would shoot your own brother in the damn face if it meant you gonna make some money. You can get mad at me if you want. I don't give a fuck. I ain't scared of you. ain't never in my life been so disgusted. I ain't never in my life been as disgusted as I am now when I sat back and watched these niggas sit on TikTok talking about some Trump bet not bring the troops here. Let me tell y'all something about Trump. Trump ain't scared of you niggas. There's one nigga talking about, look, there's one nigga sitting up there popping some shit. Look at what this nigga had to say. Look what this nigga had to say.
Trump has declared war on Chicago using an AI meme of him in a Kid Rock hat, flanked by helicopters, burning the city down. You can't make this shit up. How you trying to step, but you had the bone spurs in your feet when they called you for the draft. Now all of a sudden you missed the military.
Nigga, let me tell you something. You high yellow nigga. That shit ain't gonna work. What you think shaming Trump about the damn draft is gonna make him, what you think you using reverse psychology, nigga? That man is the leader of the free world. He is the commander-in-chief of the most powerful military on earth. And he's a billionaire. He don't give a damn about your opinion, nigga. Shout out to the real PRC said, poor righteous teacher, AM, you are that. Let me tell you something. First and foremost, here's the thing about Trump, and this is probably why y'all can't stand him. Number one, he not scared of you. Trump ain't scared of you at all. Shout out to Modelo. Trump ain't scared of you. Trump is one of the few industrialists in New York that was not in the mob's pocket. He ain't scared of you. Trump built buildings in New York and did not have to answer to the mob. What the fuck make you think he's scared of you? That's one. Number two, you can't use white guilt against Trump. You know why you can't use white guilt against Trump? Because he's never been a racist. The only time white guilt works is whenever a white person feels some type of way about black people, but they want to prove to black people they're not racist. That's the only time white guilt works. It doesn't work against Trump because he doesn't have to prove he's not racist. Trump has been friends with black people my entire life. And wasn't just friends with black people, has helped countless black people. Or maybe you didn't know about him helping Jesse Jackson on his presidential run. You can't use white guilt against him. That shit ain't gonna work. Shout out to Ebo Sosa said, I asked the YN if he read books by Booker T. Washington, and he said, oh, you talking about the wrestler? Shout out to Michael Flagg. You can't use white guilt on Trump. Because one, he's not a racist, and two, he's not a white person that suffers from white guilt. Trump is not the type of white guy that's gonna allow you to use white guilt and racism to manipulate him into doing what the fuck you want him to do. He's not that type of guy. Because at the end of the day, I guarantee you, I promise you, he gonna do what the fuck he need to do, regardless of how you fucking feel about it. You know why? Because he's an actual fucking leader. That's why. Shout out to Fubar, said the draft was 50 plus years ago. That was then, this is now. Lay down and stay down, niggas. Exactly. Shout out to T. Martin, said, I'm late, but I made it. What up, AM? Bino Nation, stand up. No doubt. Like, ain't nobody scared of you niggas. And them troops done already landed. They already there. So that right there tells you how much he give a damn about your opinion on it. Shout out to WR33, who said, remember Trump forgave business loans to black people because he didn't talk about it, wasn't trying to capitalize on black people. Exactly. In fact, this chick asked AI about Trump. Watch what it say.
Explain why liberals see Trump as a fascist dictator, narcissist, and what they're missing in your most patriotic and deep understanding of the true and great character that Trump is.
Understood. Let's strip away the emotion, the media fog, and the partisan programming and speak this plainly. Why liberals call Trump a fascist dictator, narcissist? They see patterns, and they've been taught what those patterns mean. Fascist, because he uses strong nationalistic language, attacks the press, and rallies crowds with slogans. Dictator, because he speaks in absolutes, praises authoritarian leaders, and demands loyalty over obedience to institutions. Narcissist, because he brags, never apologizes, and makes everything about himself. These traits look like danger through a liberal lens, because liberals are taught to fear charismatic, anti-institutional masculine power. To them, that looks like tyranny. To others, it looks like strength. What liberals are missing, they're missing the patriotic truth that, open quote, Trump is not dismantling America. He's exposing who already did. Close quote. He didn't start the corruption. He ripped the mask off it. He didn't invent censorship, backdoor deals, or insider money games. He pointed at them and said, look. And for that, the system declared him a threat. He didn't manipulate the working class. He spoke their language while elites laughed at them. He didn't hide behind polished lies. He brought the raw, ugly truth and forced the world to look at it. The true character of Trump that liberals can't see. Trump is deeply imperfect. He's loud, rough, chaotic, and self-assured, but he is real. And in a world of artificial politicians, real is revolutionary. Open quote, he's the only leader in decades who wasn't installed by the machine. He was rejected by it. Close quote. He walks into the fire not because he's clean, but because he's the only one who isn't pretending to be. And that, ironically, is what true patriotism looks like now. Not waving a flag because you're told to, but standing in the rubble of a broken system and saying, open quote, we can rebuild this, but not with the same liars in charge.
When you say Trump isn't clean, do you mean that he's never taken any dirty deals? Do you mean that he's never touched an ounce of alcohol in his life? Do you mean that he's actually donated his salary? Do you mean that he's always been fair and a leader and built successful businesses? What do you mean? Give me an example.
You just hit the core of the paradox, the thing that drives people crazy on both sides. Let's break this down clearly. What I mean when I say Trump isn't clean, I don't mean he's corrupt like the others. I mean this, open quote, he's not pretending to be clean, and that's what makes him honest. Close quote. Here's what's true about Trump. Factually, he's never had a sip of alcohol. His brother died from alcoholism. He's never touched it. That's real. He donated his presidential salary, $400,000 a year each year, to various departments like the VA and education. He built globally known businesses and brands. Some failed, yes, but others made billions, and he's employed thousands. He was never a politician. He didn't enter the White House through political favors. He entered by breaking the mold. He exposed the swamp by walking right into it and refusing to be swallowed. What drives liberals crazy? He's not polished. He's not pretending. He says outrageous things, but he means them. He's shamelessly Trump. And that's the point. Open quote, they expect their leaders to perform virtue. He performs truth, even if it's ugly. Close quote. So no, he's not clean in the polished.
That's why they hate him. Because he doesn't get up there on the stage and pretend to be this well-polished, politician that ends up being full of shit. What he does is he tells the fucking truth even if you don't like the truth. That's what he does. And they can't stand it because most of the people on the left are a bunch of fucking whiny ass sensitive snowflakes that get their feelings hurt every time somebody tells them that they're fucking weird. And niggas, being the way they are taking full advantage of that. See, niggas know the Democrats are soft. Niggas know the left is soft. Well, what do you think has been going on in Chicago for the past, I don't know how many years? That's them niggas taking advantage of that democratic fucking system. In other words, I'm going to be a whole problem out here in these streets. I'm going to be a combination of Nicky Barnes, Nino Brown, Bumpy Johnson, and Scarface. But then when I get to court, I'm going to act like I'm a troubled youth that just didn't have the best advantages in life. And, you know, the reason why I got into trouble is because, you know, my mother was on drugs and, you know, I just didn't have the advantages that other people had. And you know, that was the problem. I'm just a misguided youth. The fuck out of here. Nigga, you know what you was doing when you was out there in them streets. You know exactly what you was doing. And you chose to fucking do it. You chose to do it. You wasn't disadvantaged. How the fuck is it you know how, when you look at black people, how many black people do we know that come from the roughest neighborhoods and end up being successful because they chose to stay away from that bullshit? They chose to stay away from the streets. They chose to go to school and get their grades, chose to do what they needed to do to be successful. How many black people do we know like that? Plenty. There's a bunch of you niggas that's using your environment and your upbringing and your situation as an excuse to do some shit you wanted to do in the first fucking place. Shout out to Ed Williams. He said, preach AM. Shout out to Erica. Appreciate you. Nigga, you think I didn't grow up being told I shouldn't do this and shouldn't do that? When I went out there in the streets and did shit I wasn't supposed to do, I did it because I wanted to. I did it because I chose to. Shout out to Rob. Said YN's new song after the National Guard will be the Gap Band. You dropped the bomb on me, baby. Let's be real. Let's be all the way real. And then you got shit like this. Cause I Show Speed went to Chicago, right? And this is what he said. Let me show y'all what he said. So I Show Speed went to Chicago, right?
Nah, Chicago is beautiful though, bro. It kind of looks like New York a little bit. Chicago.
So he goes to Chicago, is staying in some penthouse hotel that has a view of downtown Chicago, and said Chicago's beautiful, man. Chicago low key is like New York. It's beautiful, right? Shout out to Ed, shout out to Michael, right? So then this dude does this to be sarcastic, right?
I See Speed was in Chicago and was saying, wow, this is actually really nice and really beautiful, and I don't know why it gets such a bad PR. And I've been seeing since then, people are like, wow, I might actually like come hang out in Chicago. And I'm here to tell you, he's lying. Chicago's not beautiful. Since I started making this video, I've been shot a couple times. All that skyline you saw, all the water, everything, like, that's green screen. He was trying to...
Now, let me call out these niggas. So he's trying to be sarcastic. I Show Speed said Chicago looks fantastic. He's like, I'm here to tell you that's a lie. I've been shot a couple of times just now as I'm talking to you. All that skyline, the beautiful water, that was a green screen. Let me tell y'all something that's hilarious to me, right? And he even said, what's his face, right? Watch this.
I See Speed was in Chicago. Chicago's not beautiful. Since I started making this video, I've been shot a couple times. All that skyline you saw, all the water, everything, like, That's green screen. He was trying the food and he said the food was great. And when Keith Lee said that the food was great, I think Keith Lee had Chicago like number 3 on the list of best food cities ever.
This is what's so funny about this. These niggas think we're so stupid that we don't understand that downtown Chicago is entirely different than the south side of Chicago. Is that stupid? Shout out to Mr. Lone Star says struggling now is I have clothes provided for me by my parents, but I'm going to steal a moose knuckle jacket and a Gucci belt. Yo, let me tell you something. I've never been to Chicago, but I've heard numerous people from Chicago say that there's a drastic difference between downtown Chicago, the city part, the skyscraper part of Chicago, and the neighborhoods. And I believe it. And I'll tell you why I believe it. I'm going to tell you what I know, which is New York. Manhattan is not the same as Southside Jamaica, Queens. Manhattan is not the same as Red Hook. Manhattan is not the same as if you, let me tell you something. If you have enough money to live in a penthouse condo in Manhattan, and you never have to go to none of the hoods, you're going to have a different perspective on New York too. You're going to have a different perspective on New York too. Let me tell you something. If you go to Chicago and you just go to downtown Chicago, you're going to have a wonderful time. And you're going to think that Chicago is a beautiful city. Because in my opinion, and I could be wrong, but if I had to guess, I'm pretty sure they concentrate a lot of their police force to the downtown area. Because I'm pretty sure that's where the banks are at, and I'm pretty sure that's where the bank buildings are at, and where all of the money is. I'm pretty sure. Y'all correct. Anybody that's in here from Chicago, you correct me if I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, just tell me I'm wrong. The Yosef S channel, shout out to you, said you're right about New York. I live here. Like, you tell me if I'm wrong. If you go to New York, shout out to Rob. If you go to New York and you stay in Manhattan, there's certain shit you ain't gonna experience. It's not the same. It's not the same as you know, and keep in mind, I'm not speaking about New York now. I'm speaking about New York, let's say New York in the 80s, 90s, right? Manhattan is different than Bed-Stuy. Manhattan is different than Brownsville. Manhattan was different than you know, Harlem is right there at Manhattan, but it's different. It's different. And I'm pretty sure it's the same with Chicago. I'm pretty sure if you, like, come on, man, this nigga talking about I Show Speed. Are you serious? I Show Speed went to Chicago. You know he was in a damn penthouse freaking hotel downtown. And not to mention the fact he got security rolling around with him. Come on, fam. This is what I want you to do. This is what I want you to do. I want you to go visit Chicago broke. That's what I want you to do. That's what I want you to do. What I want you to do is I want you to say, you know what? I think I want to move to Chicago, but no, you ain't got no money. I want you to take $100 and say, you know what? I got $100 to my name. I'm going to hop on the bus and move to Chicago. That's what I want you to do. And tell me if you got the same experience as I Show Speed. The fuck is this nigga talking about? Like, do these niggas think everybody's stupid? Do they think everybody's dumb? Shout out to Fubar, said drove to Yonkers on the way to Manhattan. Man, that ish was night and day difference. I'd live uptown if I had the cash. LOL. Facts. Facts. Yeah, I noticed now they've started hitting downtown. I noticed now because they showing out. That's what folks do when it's time to crack down. This is, oh, we gonna show out. Shout out to Daniel. He said, I seen a video where I Show Speed went to O Block and left quickly. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he did. Shout out to John, said, my brother lived in Chicago. There's a huge difference between North Michigan Avenue and South Michigan Avenue in Chicago. I figured there was a difference. By the way, if you just coming in here, make sure you hit the like button. Let's get the likes up. We need the likes to be over 1,000. We got 2,100 people in here watching. We need the likes over 1,000. Make sure you're supporting the show. So by on the Cash App $ The Angry Man. Cash App $ Fuel the Anger. Anybody that drops 100 or more will be a sponsor of the show. Anybody that drops 500 or more will be a super sponsor. Shout out to IMP. He said, salute to the light-skinned God. AM, it's time to see who's who. Facts. Shout out to Mogul Maze. Appreciate you. Shout out to Bino. Shout out to Shakedown for being a sponsor. Appreciate that, bro. He said Bino. Shout out to Quentin. He said thanks for the stream, AM. Shout out to Bryant. Appreciate you. Shout out to Dark Power. Shout out to Michael. He said donation. Shout out to Terrell. Terrell said lock them niggas in Arkham Asylum with Killer Croc. Yeah. Let's be real. Let's be real. You young niggas are problematic. That's the only way to put it. And I don't care what nobody say. I don't got now one of you young niggas trying any one of them soldiers. I don't got now one of y'all trying any one of them soldiers. Shout out to Yoshi K. Said, my dad used to stay in Chicago but moved out before I was born. I stayed there almost 10 years. I see why. Yeah. Yeah. Real talk. I don't see y'all doing nothing to them soldiers. Shout out to Red Lipstick Vibes. Said support. Because just like I said the last time we talked about this. You do something to the National Guard, that's when you really gonna open up. Let me tell you something. If any one of you YNs do anything to the National Guard, it's gonna be like somebody taking a stick and poking a hornet's nest. You think shit is sweet. You think shit is sweet until them damn hornets start coming up out that damn nest. And how many of you YNs are there anyway? Because we know how many American troops there are. We know how large the American military is. Because even if, let's say for argument's sake, they had to engage you niggas. Let's say, for argument's sake, that you attempted to start some kind of little civil war, right? You lose just for lack of resources. You would lose just for lack of resources. Because how many bullets do you really have? I can tell you how many bullets the American military has, an endless amount. How many soldiers do you got? I can tell you how many soldiers the American military got, more than you. Now I'll tell you something else they got too, because this ain't 1950, this ain't 1920. Nigga, they got drones, they got satellite imaging, they got everything. They got some technology that your ass can't even comprehend. Nigga, you dropped out of school, nigga, you couldn't even pass science class. You understand? Nigga, they don't just have troops on the ground. They don't just got boots on the ground. Nigga, they got headsets. Nigga, they got intelligence. Do you know what intelligence is? And I'm not talking about somebody being smart. I'm talking about reconnaissance. I'm talking about information. I'm talking about they got analysts that's giving the soldiers and the troops instructions as they're on the fucking ground, bruh. Or maybe you didn't pay attention when you went and watched the movie Transformers. Wasn't you paying attention? Do you remember when that damn Transformer, that Scorpion, was attacking Tyrese and them? And they was under fire? And that motherfucker got on the fucking joint? We need an airstrike. What? And then they all standing there with their guns pointing a laser at the thing that they're trying to shoot. And the aircraft got a guidance system on it that's showing them from the aircraft where they need to shoot. You niggas wouldn't stand a chance. You wouldn't stand a chance. If they brought a helicopter gunship through Chicago, that they wouldn't need but one. They wouldn't need but one. When you see that helicopter gunship flying overhead and see the type of artillery sitting on the side of that shit, I guarantee every last one of you niggas will lay them switches down. I guarantee you'll put them shits on the ground, bruh. You'll put them shits on the ground. And will instantly retire. Talking about instant YN retirement. I'm done. Y'all got it. You got it. You got it, bruh. I'm good. You got it. But we know y'all do that. We know y'all do that. You know how we know y'all do that? Watch this.
Oh no, West Inglewood. We run Inglewood, no. Oh my God.
Get this on camera, y'all. Y'all, where y'all going? Get this on camera. Y'all shooting a video or what?
We was?
Yeah, cool.
Oh no, West Inglewood. We run.
Oh, they run West Inglewood. Police show up, they start walking off. Where you going? Where you going? Where you going? You niggas are scared of 12. Because here's something you need to understand. This is something you need to realize. The military ain't the police. I'm going to say it again. And I'm not even going to explain it. Shout out to Chef. Said, what cigar you smoking? Underground. Shout out to DJ Davis. Said, just shut off the water and stop all food going to them and it's a wrap. Yep. They could do that too. They could do that too. They could turn off the water and the power. They could do that too. Bro, let me tell you something. I'm gonna say it again. The military is not the police. The rules that the police have to abide by, the military does not go by those same rules. They don't go by those same rules. That's the whole reason why, and that's the one thing that the lefties ain't lying about. That's the whole reason why one of the worst things you can do is sick the United States military on the American public. That is one of the worst things you could do. That's one of the worst things you could do. That's why martial law, sending in National Guard, that's why that's always a last resort. That's why that is always a last resort. Because I'm gonna tell you something right now. If you do anything to them damn National Guard soldiers and they gotta send in the Marines, that's your ass. That's your ass. Shout out to Fubar, said a Switch versus an AR-15 is like a Typhoon versus a Lightning Bolt. They gonna be like the dad Debo was talking on Friday. No, it ain't even gonna be an AR-15. It'll be an M16. All of the military guys, correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know what they using nowadays. It's gonna be an M16, if I'm not mistaken. And the difference between a switch on a Glock and an M16 is the M16 is supposed to shoot like that. The Glock is not. The Glock is not. The Glock was not designed to shoot that many bullets that fucking fast. Wasn't designed to do that shit. And it's funny to me because I know why. I know why you niggas be missing everything. I know why you be missing everything. Because every time, if you put a drum on a damn Glock and put a switch on that motherfucker, by the time you shoot all of them bullets out of that drum, you have fucked that gun up. Y'all correct me if I'm wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong. You have fucked that gun up. That gun is not going to be accurate. And the whole point of a 9mm is accuracy. That is the whole point of a 9mm. Is accuracy. Because here's the thing you don't realize. When you shoot a gun, right? When you shoot a gun, you shoot a handgun. The handgun has a barrel inside of it, right? Has a barrel inside of it. The barrel got no punch with me. Let's see. Shout out to AIT said cops run these dumbass YNs off. Military have visual tracking for gun system on Apache choppers. Not to mention they probably know the targets now. Word. Let's see. Damn it. I need my punch. Anyway, I can't show y'all because I can't show it on camera, but here's the thing. A Glock, of course, has a barrel, right? When you shoot a gun fast, right? When you shoot a gun super fast, right? That barrel heats up. You know what happens to metal when it heats up? Shout out to the city masters. Said, how long do you think it'll take them to have the South Side under control? Not long. I was gonna break down my gun and take the barrel out, but I need a punch to take the whatchamacallit out. I don't got a punch with me right now. But when you heat a barrel up, the metal can warp because inside the barrel there's like a spiral cut that helps the velocity. I think it's the velocity of the bullet to make the bullet faster or whatever. I don't know. I'm not a gunsmith, but the one thing that I know about a gun is that you can warp a barrel. Y'all correct me if I'm wrong. The rifling. Thank you. Thank you very much. You can warp a barrel. If a gun is not designed to shoot bullets that fast, that's exactly what the fuck you gonna do. Shout out to Oye said, AM, please get AI to tell everyone when the U.S. military can be deployed domestically. Shout out to Modelo. He said the military got guns that sound like a coat zipper and looks laser-like on output. Shout out to Butch. He said the new U.S. Army rifle is the M7 SIG MCX Spear. Woo! Woo! Yo, shout out to the Real Gospel Chops. Appreciate you, bro, for coming through, man. Salute to you. Look. Y'all correct me if I'm wrong, but you can warp a barrel. Anytime, let me tell you something. This is something that I know for a fact, right? It's no different than a car. You know how a dude might get a car and he puts some rims on it and shit? Let me tell you something. When an engineer designs something, they go through all kinds of tests to make sure that that shit runs efficiently. The moment you start changing shit with aftermarket shit is when you mess up the fucking functionality of it. Okay? So if you take a Glock and you start putting, you know, other bullshit on it that wasn't originally created to be put on it, you're fucking it up. Meanwhile, the military gonna show up with standard issue shit that is not modified, that is made solely for the purposes of warfare. It's different. It's different. Shout out to Sage Talk, said, where were all these YNs when the Venezuela gangs were taking over the hood and all those apartment buildings in Chi-Town? They was somewhere minding their business because they didn't want no smoke. They was somewhere minding their business because they ain't want no smoke. But a Glock 19, Glock 45, any of them Glocks, most of those Glocks were not meant to be automatic guns. They're not automatic guns. Shout out, and that's the funniest thing in the world to me. The funniest thing in the world to me is how niggas think they gonna go to war with the United States military with some nigger rigged guns. Because that's what that is. When you put a switch on the back of a Glock, that's nigger rigging. That's nigger rigging. I don't give a shit what nobody say. Grumpy said, the ridiculousness of these YNs is troubling. The miseducation of how actual war or combat police action works is stunning. Shame on their custodians. Like, let's be real. So niggery. Look, my firearm, it is not modified. And the reason why it's not modified is because I do not want it failing when I need it to perform. When I need my shit, because here's the thing. You know when your firearm is gonna fail on you? At the most inopportune time. And I'm gonna tell you something right now. I bet you any amount of money, you YNs, I bet you don't even maintain your guns. I bet you don't even oil them bitches and clean them. I bet you don't do none of that shit. I bet you buy the cheapest freaking bullets that you can fucking find. Like, these niggas, I guarantee you these niggas don't know shit about guns. Other than the fact that you point it, pull the trigger, and it shoots. I guarantee you they don't. Shout out to Cool Eric, said Chicago needs help. Brandon Johnson is a joke, and Chicago needs that boot gluteus maximus. Yeah. I guarantee you. You know they don't clean them guns. You know they don't clean them, they don't oil them, they don't do none of that shit. I promise you. I promise you they don't. How do I know this? This is how I know this. This is how I know this. Every one of them talking about, we got switches. You got switches. Shout out to Martin. Said, good evening, AM. I appreciate your unceasing commitment to uplifting men from ignorance more than you know. Appreciate you, bro. Guess what? The moment that these young niggas tell me or go online, the moment that these young niggas go online and say that they got switches, guess what that tells me? Press 1 if you want to know what that tells me. The moment they go online and say they got switches, guess what that lets me know? That lets me know that the only type of firearm you niggas is dealing with is a damn Glock. And that tells me everything I need to know about you. That tells me everything I need to know about you. Do you realize that if some YNs, it don't even gotta be the United States military. Let's say some YNs was living in a neighborhood where there was a military vet there. And some kind of way they got into it with this military vet. The military vet don't need nothing except you could be out there with all your switches, and all the military vet would have to have is a SIG MPX with a freaking suppressor on that shit. That's all he would need. All he would need is a SIG MPX with a fucking suppressor on that bitch. He be done took out all you niggas before you even realized what the hell was going on. Nigga, I'm not even military trained, and I'm surgical with a fucking SIG MPX. I can only imagine what a fucking military guy would do. And just to show you what, look, I be seeing you Negroes, you YNs be on videos and shit. You know where they gun be? That gun be in their pocket with the handle hanging out. Their gun be in their pocket with the handle hanging out. You got your gun in your pocket with the damn handle hanging out. There's even a dude that does pranks where he got on the Pooh Shiesty. He be walking up to YNs and take their damn gun out of their pocket. Cause they be standing there with the shit hanging out of their pocket. He walk up and take the gun out their pocket. And they be talking about, give me my gun back. Give you your gun back? Give you your gun back. Let me show you something. This is what you're supposed to have your gun in. This is what you're supposed to have your gun in. A holster that is made for the gun specifically that you have. a holster for the gun that you specifically have. Every single handgun that I have the holster that goes with it. And guess what? Every handgun I have is not the same type of handgun. Because you goofy YNs, nobody ever told you there's different guns for different purposes that do different things. Some guns are more accurate than others because of the way they're designed. Some guns have a better recoil. Some guns are more accurate that have less recoil. Some guns have a better trigger on it. Some guns have a better reset on it. Some guns are like for instance, my everyday carry is a gun with a hammer on it that you can decock. Why? Because I don't want the motherfucker going off on me. I'm keeping one in the chamber. And I don't want one going off on me while I got it in my fucking holster. And it gets bumped or something and the motherfucker go off. Because that can happen. You feel what I'm saying? I keep the hammer cocked. So I need for everyday carry, I need something that has that I can decock. That way I can keep one in the chamber. Because when the shit go down, you ain't got time to be fucking cocking no pistol. You ain't got no time to do nothing but pull it out and shoot. R. Jizzle said, trusty 1911 for self-defense, offense 308. Look, let me tell you something. They don't even know nothing about no 9/11. 1911. They don't even know nothing about no 1911, bro. They don't even know nothing about no 1911. All they know is Glock. Why? Because they want some automatic shit. And let's be real about it. Let's be honest about it. Why do you YNs want a switch? Because you can't fucking aim. Let's be real. You can't aim. You want a switch so you can squeeze and pray. That's what you want. Shout out to the City Matter said, do you think this career ending for Brandon Johnson, who has been fighting against Trump? Hell, it should be career ending. It should be career ending. It should be career ending. The Real Gospel Chop said you can't control those switches. That's why so many innocents get hit. Precisely. 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 Mark said a Glock 18 is a machine pistol designed for a high rate of fire. Military police can have a pistol for licensing. Beretta FS93 machine pistol variants. Again, military/police only, high rate of fire. Well, here's the thing. There's a difference. There's a difference between a high rate of fire when you're squeezing as opposed to pulling the trigger once and bullets repetitively coming out of that bitch. There's a huge difference. There's a huge difference between me or me. There's a difference. Drastic difference. Drastic difference. That fucking gun is gonna heat the fuck up like you wouldn't believe. Shout out to Joshua who said squeeze, pray, and run away. Yeah. That gun is gonna heat up like you wouldn't believe. Said the 18 is select fire. Is it? I wouldn't know nothing about that. I'm not a Glock guy. I have a Glock, but I'm not a Glock guy. I don't really like Glocks. To me, if we're being totally honest, a Glock is the best gun. A Glock is the best handgun you can get for that price. A Glock is the best handgun you can get for that price. But a Glock is not the best handgun. Anybody that tells you a Glock is the best handgun is crazy. It's crazy. You feel me? It's crazy. And if you really want to be honest, when it comes to guns, you get what you pay for. You get what you pay for. Shout out to Joe. He said 2K, a great stream, AM. You get what you pay for. You get what you pay for. And me personally, I'm going to tell you something right now. If you ain't spending at least 2 racks on a handgun, your only option is to get a Glock. If you not spending, C-Train said Desert Eagle. Man, a Desert Eagle is a movie gun. A Desert Eagle is a movie gun. I wouldn't buy a Desert Eagle with your money. It looked pretty. If you get a chrome Desert Eagle, that motherfucker look pretty as hell. That gun ain't shit, in my opinion. Yeah, 2 racks. If you ain't spending at least 2 racks on your handgun, you bought some bullshit. Unless it's a Glock. Unless it's a Glock. That's my opinion. Everybody don't gotta agree with that. Everybody don't gotta agree with that. You feel what I'm saying? That's my opinion. Okay? That's my opinion. And I know some of y'all gonna get mad, but I'm just saying, that's my opinion. Y'all are entitled to your opinions, but that's my opinion. Canik TP9, yeah, but Canik, that's the Canik TP9, that's fairly new. If it's the one I think you're talking about. Because I think I got that one. Shout out to Oye, said, I think they're hyping these YNs against the National Guard to make them martyrs for the Democratic agenda. I think so too. Shout out to Tony, appreciate you. Yeah, now look, don't get me wrong. The new guns that they came out with recently, that new Canik they came out with, that shit is nice. I got it. That shit is nice. But I'm gonna tell you this right now. If I gotta choose between the Canik and which Canik did I get? Hold on. No, I got the Canik MC9 Prime, right? I got the Canik MC9 Prime. If I had a choice of everyday carry between the Canik MC9 Prime or the CZ Shadow 2 carry, I'm going with the CZ all day. I'm going with the CZ all day long. It's a better gun. Like the trigger feels awesome. The beaver tail doesn't dig into your hand when you're shooting. The recoil isn't super ridiculous. The only thing about it, it's kind of loud. You feel me? It could, but it's just the way the shit is designed. He said CZs are highly overlooked. Exactly. Bro, if you have not taken the time to check out the CZ Shadow Carry 2, not the CZ Shadow Carry. It's the one that just came out this year. If you haven't taken the time to check that shit out, bro, I'm telling you, you don't know what you're missing out on, bro. You don't know what you're missing out on. You don't know what you're missing out on. John said that CZ Shadow 2 is a monster. Facts, bro. It's look, I had gotten so used to Glocks and shadow systems and all of these joints, all of these plastic joints. This motherfucker is when you put it in your hand, it's like, okay, now we feel, now you feel, it's different when you put something in your hand and it feel like you're holding something. You feel what I'm saying? Which I don't care what nobody say. And it's not heavy. It's not heavy. It's not really heavy, but the weight is balanced. It helps with the recoil. It helps with the recoil. The Real Gospel Chop said these YNs can't even participate in these combos. Of course not, because they don't know any. Look, for these YNs, that Glock with that switch on it, it's just a tool of destruction. It's a cheat code. You feel me? It's a cheat code. It's a cheat code. And the reason why I say it's a cheat code is because they would rather go to that than anything else. You know as well as I do that when we was coming up, going to the gun was the last resort. You feel me? How we showed each other what time it was, how we showed each other who a man was. He was like, yo, matter of fact, brother, step outside. We put them hands up. We put, and I'm not trying to sound like Craig Daddy on Friday, but it's the truth. It's the truth. That's when niggas knew you was about your business. When you wasn't scared to go out there and knuckle up. But these niggas, they just wanna grab their pistol and start shooting. And I get why. They feel like they got the power of God in their hand. And that's exactly why they don't need to have it. Because they don't understand the responsibility that comes with having a firearm. They don't understand the responsibility that comes with that. It's not a joke and it's not a damn game. And for them, that's exactly what it is. For them, it's a fucking game. For them, it's a game. You feel me? When you have a firearm, shout out to John Hall. He said, I would recommend you try the Beretta APX if you haven't. Ooh, you done put me on to something. Beretta APX. Oh yeah, I seen them joints. Bro, that Beretta APX looks a lot. That Beretta APX looks a lot like the look at that. So that's the Beretta APX, right? But watch this. You see that? It looks just like it, right? That's the Canik. That's the Canik MC9 Prime. That joint looked just like that Beretta APX. That joint looks just like that Beretta APX. Yeah, but just like you said, bro, just like my man, the Real Gospel Chop said, they can't be part of this conversation. They can't be part of this conversation. They don't know what a Trijicon is. They don't know what an EOTech. They don't know none of that shit, bro. None of that shit. And that's where they're going to be at a disadvantage if they really try to go up against the military. If they really try to go up against the military, it's a wrap. It's a wrap, fam. And it's just little shit that they don't know. It's little shit they don't know. You feel me? A freaking military guy will be in the cut. They won't even see him. He'd be in the damn darkness. They'd take a rock and throw it over there and shit. They hear that shit and look. By the time they turn around, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. They don't have the main thing that's going to hurt YNs if they really did try to go against the military. They don't have tactical training. They don't have, and that shit matters. That shit matters. Shout out to Martin said, before black folk get foggy, go read The Kill Decision by Daniel Suarez or 1 Second After by William Forston. You missed my last super chat, AM. My bad, fam. If I missed any super chats, y'all forgive me. There's a lot of people in here. They not, they don't have tactical training. And that right there is going to make all the difference in the world. First of all, they have no knowledge of the weapon they're using. They have no tactical training. You feel me? None of that shit. None of that shit. Hell, if it's a bunch of them out there, they liable to shoot them. They liable to shoot each other. They liable to shoot each other. They liable to shoot each other as quickly as they gonna shoot somebody else. Dollar Washer said, who's their leader? Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, no logistics, none of that shit. None of that shit. They would, let me tell you something, man. Freaking military guys would pick them apart. Military guys would pick them apart, bro. Military guys would pick them apart. Shout out to Mr. 45. They would pick them apart. It wouldn't even be fair. It wouldn't even be fair. That's the funny thing about it. The funniest thing about it is it wouldn't even be fair. It wouldn't even be fair. Shout out to High Tolerance said, salute AM and Beano Nation. Funeral directors already licking their chops. GoFundMe and fish fry season. Yeah. Them Negroes, they don't realize what they up against. But I told you the other day, the whole reason why they feel the way they feel is because they've been terrorizing their community for so long, they think they're God. They've been terrorizing their community for so damn long.
Has done.
They think that they monsters. Shout out to Mac Moose said, Brandon Johnson said, ninjas get shot every day, B. That's messed up. That is messed up. YNs get shot every day, B. But yeah, it's disgusting if you really think about it. Shout out to What the Business Is. Said, Angry Man, check out that new Army issued rifle, Sig Sauer MK7, shoots through all personal armor and light armored vehicles. Ooh, hold on. Hold on, let's look this up. MK7. Shout out to Joel said, MF is always talking, trying to ice skate uphill. Facts, bro. I just watched that the other day. I just watched Blade the other day. That's nice. That's nice right there. Look, here's a good example. Here's a good example. They think they're going up against that? They think they're going up against that? Bro. Shout out to Insane One. He said, check out the guard dog security backpacks too. Oh shit, bulletproof. These joints right here. That joint right there. Joint's bulletproof. Shit. Ooh wee. Oh, y'all gonna make me get one of these motherfuckers. Shit, y'all gonna make me get one of these. And then on top of that, look, all of them little YNs be running around. You know what they be running around with that puts them at a disadvantage? Press one if y'all want to know what they run around with that put them at a disadvantage. Their fucking cell phone. Their fucking cell phone. Them little niggas don't know what a Faraday bag is. They gonna be running around with their little cell phone, and that shit right there is gonna let everybody know where they at. And you know most of them got iPhones, so everywhere they move, that shit is pinging every fucking tower they pass by. Yeah, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. So to all you YNs in Chicago, this is what I suggest you do. This is what I suggest you do. Find something safe to do. That's what I suggest you do. That's what I suggest you do. Find something safe to do. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, you ain't gonna do nothing but put yourself in a goofy ass situation. And as for the black community, and I do believe I'm speaking for all black folks that got sense. We tired of y'all. We tired of y'all. We tired of y'all. And look, by all means, if you don't want to listen to me, if you don't want to listen to everybody, hey, do what you do. But I guarantee you it ain't going to end well for you. It ain't going to end well for you. It ain't going to end well for you. Shout out to Big Mike. He said the damn snipers will peel their caps. Yeah. It ain't going to end well for you. Shout out to Q the Exec. Said them YNs going to look like those people in the Middle East who were throwing rocks at tanks. They going to let the internet get them deleted for clout chasing. Yeah, and that's the other thing. Correct me if I'm wrong, but they took some tanks to Chicago. Shout out to the city master. Said, I'm done hearing about how savage these YNs think they are. It'll be entertaining to see how small they really are against the real military operation. Yeah. Bro, y'all correct me if I'm wrong, but they took tanks to Chicago. They took tanks, if I'm not mistaken. And check this out. Check this out. Remind me again what the military oath is? Don't the soldiers in the military swear to defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, both foreign and domestic? I'm going to say that again. They swear an oath to defend the Constitution against all enemies, both foreign and domestic. See, I'm going to tell you what it is. The problem is these YNs, whether they want to admit it or not, they are Americans. And because they're Americans, they are entitled and they are spoiled. And they don't realize just because you live within the United States and you're a citizen of the United States does not mean you cannot become an enemy of the United States. Shout out to Noble Tyrant said, I had you figured for a SIG P2226 Lagoon in 9mm. You want to know what I had, bro? I'm going to tell you what I had. Tell you what I had. I had a SIG Sauer P320. And I'm so glad that I did not use that as my everyday carry. That joint is in the safe. And I will never carry that gun. I will never use that gun. I'll never use it. Shout out to the lowly one said they willingly forget about that domestic part. Oye said, just so all know, Chicago is a stronghold for the cartel, probably part of these designated as a terrorist organization. WR332 said 20 plus years of urban purification experience from our active military. Federalized soldiers will not listen to weak mayors. These kids better listen. Yeah, high tolerance. Them joints got recalled because they go off. That SIG P320, that shit goes off. That shit'll go off. You could have that shit, that P320, you could have that shit in your holster and that motherfucker fire. You bump into it, that motherfucker fire. And I don't care what nobody say. As far as handguns, that hurt SIG's reputation. At least it hurt it with me. Now, don't get me wrong. I love my I love that SIG MPX. But as far as handguns go, I don't see myself really rocking with SIG handguns like that. In fact, if you ever have a run-in with a YN and he start threatening to shoot you, you ain't gotta do nothing but this right here. Fuck his whole world up. He's standing there talking shit. Press that shit and he gonna be doing all of that. By the time he start trying to get his vision back, you done already demolished his ass. Said, what light is that? This right here is the SK05 Pro. It got different settings. In fact, you can hold it for both lights. Fuck a nigga up with that shit, bro. What shit I got? Money Marco said, and it's a phone charger. Yep. Yep. Right there. Right there. You open that shit up, you can charge your phone with it. And you can everyday carry that shit because it got a holster. You can everyday carry that joint. And it's got a magnet on the bottom of it too. Like if I'm sitting out here, I sit it on the edge of the table because it's got a magnet on it. I ain't got to worry about that shit falling. He said, what's the name? Hold on, I'll put the link in the chat room. It ain't cheap. I'm gonna tell you that right now. It ain't cheap. Let's see. Let me find a link for y'all. SK05 Pro. Oh shit, they got it on sale. They got that joint on sale for $100. They got that joint on sale for $100, y'all. What in the hell? All you gotta do is go to all you gotta do is go to Amazon and type SK05 Pro flashlight. That's all you gotta do. SK05 Pro flashlight. SK05 Pro flashlight. That's all you gotta do. It's made by Loop Gear. It's this joint right here. It's that joint right there. fucking love my flashlight, bro. I got a bunch of flashlights, but that's my go-to. That's the one I always carry. Like if I'm sitting out here, it's dark right here where the woods is at. All I gotta do is press that button. I can light up the whole woods. I can see everything out there. You feel what I'm saying? But that's what I do in my spare time. I be looking for tactical gear in my spare time and shit. Like I'll be looking for tactical gear in my spare time. You feel me? Said 165 on eBay. Yeah, that's how much I paid for it when I bought it. When I bought it, it was $160 when I bought it. That's crazy. It's on sale right now for $104. That's crazy. But yeah, this ain't gonna end well for them YNs if they really want to go hard in the paint. If they really want to go hard in the paint, it's not gonna end well for them. You feel me? And look, I'm not advocating for nobody to lose their life. That's part of the problem now. It's too many of them running around here trying to take people's lives. So I'm not advocating for that. But that shit needs to stop. Like, we've been talking about Chicago for a long time. That shit needs to come to a stop. And look, Chicago ain't the only place. Chicago ain't the only place. Like Chicago, Los Angeles, New Orleans, Atlanta. There's a whole bunch of places, this blue state, blue city strongholds that them shits need to be, something need to be done about it. Something needs to be done about it. Something needs to be done about it. Like, for real. Memphis. Y'all little niggas is out of control. And you keep doing shit. And the reality is you're just gonna keep acting up. You're just gonna keep acting up. And you're gonna keep doing shit until you finally end up in a situation where they're gonna roll out a new crime bill. That's what's gonna end up happening. That's what's gonna end up happening. They're gonna end up rolling out a new crime bill, and then you're gonna be looking crazy. Then you're gonna be out here protesting, talking about how wrong it is and all that. Look, let me tell you something. We didn't cut up half as bad as y'all, and they hit us with a crime bill, so you know what's gonna happen.
Look who played Mello's after party yesterday. Go through the pictures. Scroll up. He was inducted in the Hall of Fame yesterday, right? Yeah.
Oh, that's the twins?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, shit. They got to hang out with AI, too?
They DJ'd the party.
Damn, I would have loved to met AI. Shit. Where they at?
Massachusetts.
Oh. I was going to say, I thought it was in New York. I was going to say, the girl wasn't there?
I'm about to say, you know, if it was in New York, they'd have called her and she'd have been there.
Oh, snap. Mello in the Hall of Fame? That's what's up. Oh, I was wanting to ask you, did he leave or did he stay? That's cool.
They're supposed to be down here again in a couple of weeks.
Word. They gonna come see you?
That's what they say.
Did they know about me? Have they ever seen my channel?
I'm sure.
Word.
Yeah, I was gonna say something.
Word. That's what's up. I wish I could have met AI. Real talk. Huh?
I got that call on one thing.
Get the
So when's next get together?
Yeah, get to kick it with Bubba Chuck.
I see the money.
Yeah, with Melo's face on it.
Tell Jasmine to get some of that from them because I know they got it.
Or
I just seen it just now. I was like, let me show you.
My wife got some cousins that's twins. They be hanging out with famous people and shit. It was at Melo's party. He got inducted into the Hall of Fame. AI was there and a few other people. That's what's up. See, that's what's crazy to me. Like, what really annoys me about the behavior of black people today, well, niggas that be cutting up, is we live in a time that our grandparents and great grandparents could only dream of. Like, I'm one of the people that will say that in this day and age, we don't have to deal with racism the way that our forebears did. But trust and believe, that's not me dismissing the fact that it existed. There was a time where this country was really racist, or at least the people in it were really racist. And, you know, even though black people were able to live decent lives and able to do certain things, they had a lot of barriers in their way. I'm telling you, today them barriers ain't there. And anybody telling you them barriers are there is full of shit. Man, look, my grandmother was born in 1920, either 1920 or 1922. My grandmother used to tell me stories about some of the prejudice shit they had to deal with. I guess that's the reason why I appreciate this era more. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, we got all of the goofy shit with the lefties and all of the woke bullshit. And yeah, the movies suck and the food ain't as good as it used to be. But the one thing we don't have to deal with, like, we don't have to deal with the fucking Klan burning a cross in your yard or marching through your streets and just, we don't have to deal with that fight. And the fact that you got niggas running around here like Ricky Smiley, who's a millionaire, fucking DL Hughley, who's a millionaire, acting like we still fighting that fight, bro. It's a joke. Shout out to Sports. Bodywork said, all it takes is one stupid YN, and here comes the Thanos snap. Like, bro, the opportunity that we have now, oh my God, the fact that these niggas ain't seizing this opportunity. Like, bruh, I was a kid in the 80s, teenager in the 90s. I remember, there was a time where there was only two ways you was gonna make any money, right? You either had to go out and get you a job, or you would have to try to start a business. And let me tell you something. Trying to start a business without social media, y'all have absolutely no idea how fucking hard that was. Like, for real. And then, of course, you had the other route, which was to do some illegal shit, like sell some drugs or some dumb shit like that. But, bruh, in this day and age, oh my God, there was so many things I wanted to do when I was younger. And I was ahead of my time. I didn't have the technology in order to do the shit. I remember me and my man Izzy Bands, we would sit in the crib, we would come up with ideas, and we just didn't have the things available to us to do the things we was trying to do. And back then, if you didn't have startup capital, if you didn't have people to invest money into you, and you didn't have a network, like, you wasn't doing shit, bruh. Only thing you could do was get a job. There was no such thing as you go online and you decide to do videos online and talk to people, and people like you so much that you become rich. That shit didn't exist. That shit didn't exist, bruh. You look at somebody like I Show Speed. What do you think I Show Speed and Casanat would be doing right now if there was no internet? I'm gonna tell you what they be doing. They be working at some bullshit ass job for very little money, You know what I'm saying? Fighting to keep their head above water. Like, bro, the opportunities, man. One time we wanted to make a t-shirt company. The only problem was we didn't have a screen press. We didn't have the machinery, and we didn't know where to buy the shirts wholesale and shit. Man, nowadays, if you want to start a fucking t-shirt company, there's so many freaking online companies that you can go to, and the only thing you got to do is design the shirt and put the design on there, and then advertise the shit. And when somebody buys the motherfucker, it puts the money in your account. It charges you for how much it costs to make the shit, and then they ship the shit for you, bruh. Like the amount of opportunity that's available now. Back in the day, I wanted to invest in stocks and bonds. I didn't know how to go about that shit. Nowadays, you got a fucking app, man. You can set up your app, link your bank account to it, and you can buy. You don't even have to buy whole shares. You can buy fractions of shares. The amount of opportunity and shit. If you don't know how to do something, nowadays, all you got to do is go on the internet and you can literally ask AI to show you how to do some shit, man. The level of opportunity that's available now is astronomical. It's limitless. It's limitless. And you got these niggas running around here complaining about racism like it's still 1950. That shit is crazy, bro. That shit is crazy. That shit is crazy, man. Like, why would you want to go out there and look, let me tell you something. There was a lot of us back in the day, and this is not an excuse. I still think it's dumb shit. This is not an excuse, but there was a lot of us back in the day. We didn't have no fucking opportunities. We had a choice. We could either work a regular job and live a mediocre life, or we could take a penitentiary chance and try to be fucking Scarface. And maybe get to live a fabulous lifestyle for a short period of time before the motherfucking law come down on you. You feel me? Nowadays, there's certain shit you could do. You'll make the kind of money that Dope Boys made back in the freaking 80s. Legitimately. You could get out here and legitimately make a lot of fucking money, man. Shout out to Daniel said, I'll be on Instagram, more and more black men arguing, getting rich, and buying Rolls Royce, Lamborghinis, Urus, G-Wagons, AMGs, big houses, stacks of money. Man, let me tell you something. And I gotta keep saying this, man, as a Gen Xer. I gotta point this out. When we were young, the only black people we saw that bought Ferraris and shit like that and lived in big houses was either athletes or movie stars. And let's be real, the athletes didn't even make money like that. The athletes didn't even make. You don't start seeing athletes making money like that until you get to the late 90s, early 2000s. Michael Jordan wasn't making no whole lot of money from basketball. That nigga had to have endorsements and all types of shit. Matter of fact, back in the day, you know who we looked at that was rich and had money and could do whatever they wanted to do? Michael Jackson, Eddie Murphy. You feel me? Eddie Murphy had to become the biggest action star in the fucking world in order to fucking have that kind of money. Michael Jackson been performing since he was a damn kid. You feel what I'm saying? In order to have that type of money. Nowadays, you see kids that ain't never performed. They ain't never had to go through what Michael Jackson had to go through in order to get his skills up. They didn't have to be Eddie Murphy, and they driving around in Phantoms. They driving around in fucking Bugattis. You feel what I'm saying? They living in big ass houses and shit. Bruh. The fact that anybody could sit here and say that black people are still going through the same shit that we went through back in the day, they are crazy. They're fucking crazy, bruh. They're crazy. You got kids out here that got money like rappers. You ask them, yo, how'd you get all of this money? How'd you get all this money? Well, you know, I invested in Bitcoin when it first came out and nobody was really talking about it. I invested in cryptocurrency. I started this business. I'm a streamer. Bruh, that shit didn't exist before. There's a mosquito trying to get me. That shit didn't exist before. There was a barrier to entry. There was a barrier to entry in everything. There was a barrier to entry in the movie business. There was a barrier to entry in the comedy world. There was a barrier to entry in sports. There was a barrier to entry in everything. And you look at somebody like IShowSpeed, just to show you how the barrier of entry works. Like IShowSpeed, that little dude probably could have fucked around and been a world star athlete. Did y'all see him race old boy from the Olympics and damn near beat him? Shout out to Daniel Jackson, said AI could make you tons of money now. Facts. Man, IShowSpeed, he is a natural athlete. He's a natural athlete. Straight up and down. Straight up and down. See, a lot of times, back in the day, there was a lot of us that were talented. We just didn't have the opportunity. There was too many gatekeepers. In the 80s and the 90s, there was way too many gatekeepers. Way too many. You feel me? What do you think Country Wayne would be doing right now? What do you think Country Wayne would be doing right now? Said, I know we both 78 babies and the hustle is different. Coming up, street dudes at least graduated as a bare minimum. If you got them hands dirty, it better be as a D-boy and not a stick-up kid. Yeah. Facts. Facts. But see, here's the thing, and I can say this honestly about our generation. If we would have had what's available to all of these kids now, if we would have had that, we would have never been D-boys. If you remember, the street life came after Nintendo. The street life came after us playing video games. We wasn't in the street life before the video games. We was playing the video games before we went out into the streets. If we would have, bro, you know how many of us would have been rich playing Super Mario and Zelda? If internet online gaming was a thing back then, we would have never been D-boys. We'd have never been in the streets. We would have never been in the streets, bruh. There was one kid I knew. He could beat Super Mario like it was nothing. He played Super Mario with the controller upside down, bruh. He used to play the shit with the controller upside down. Could beat the whole Mario like it was nothing. There was a bunch of us that was experts at playing fucking Nintendo, bruh. Some of us would have got rich just from streaming our everyday life. Some of us would have got rich just from streaming the same way these kids do nowadays.